Now 9:30 a.m. on June 25th. Welcome to the meeting of the Harwich Board of Appeals on this date, June 25th, 2026. The purpose of this meeting is to hear and decide applications before the Board of Appeals which have been brought pursuant to the bylaw of the Town of Harwich and the Massachusetts Zoning Enabling Act. As required by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting, which we are. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. During the meeting, the chair will recognize promptly a member of the board, the secretary, the attorneys presenting the case to inform the chair if a protocol is not being followed. While in open session, those wishing to present comments or ask questions regarding the case are requested to fill out information form on the podium. I'd like to have everybody, the board and consultants introduce themselves. Paul?
Paul Haverty, Blattman, Bobrowski, Haverty, and Silverstein, acting as MHP consultant for this matter.
Amy Questle, Harwich Town Council.
David Wilson.
Alexander Donahue.
Brian Sullivan?
Kenneth Dixon.
John August.
Chris Murphy.
Christine Flynn, Town Planner.
Rachel Lohr, Zoning Compliance Officer and Board Secretary.
Okay. So, again, good morning. Just want to, I think would be a final narrative for this the CPA. As we continue the public hearing on the comprehensive permit application submitted by Penrose, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the considerable effort that has been brought to the stage during this process. Over the past 6+ months, the applicant, consultants, town staff, peer reviewers, board members, and members of the public have devoted significant time and attention to review this proposal. In addition, prior to the submittal of the CPA, the Harwich Affordable Trust spent countless hours preparing the RFP, reviewing proposals, and eventual selection and agreement with Penrose. On behalf of the board, I would like to express our appreciation for the professionalism, diligence, and cooperation demonstrated by all parties throughout these proceedings. It is our expectation that today's hearing will conclude the public review process. Our primary focus will be the board's draft decision, including a careful review and verification of the proposed waivers, conditions, and other provisions that will govern the project should it be approved. The objective is to ensure that the final decision document accurately reflects the evidence presented during the hearing process, addresses the concerns and interests that have been raised, and provides clear guidance for the implementation of the project. While there may be differing viewpoints regarding various aspects of the proposal, I believe all participants share a common interest in reaching a fair, well-reasoned outcome that serves the public interest and supports the creation of a new neighborhood that will help address Harwich's affordable housing needs. Thank you to everyone who has participated in this process. We look forward to completing our review and working collaboratively towards a final decision. I'd like to have the clerk read our case this morning.
Good morning. Case number 2026-01. Penrose LLC, agent and applicant, Harwich Affordable Trust, owner 15 Mill Street, 16th floor, Boston, Mass. It has been the applicant's application for a comprehensive permit pursuant to Mass General Law 40B, Section 20 through 23, and 760 CMR 56.100. To construct a 14 townhome-style residential structure of 3 to 8 units, each 60 units in total of family rental housing. The case has been continued from June 11 of 2026.
So I want to refer everyone to their agenda. Note is the public comment period number 4, which is listed as coming after the review of the draft decision. I'd like to make a motion that we, the public comment period be number 3, after we review any outstanding items. And we'll have the public comment period at that time, which we'll have for, I'm going to start things off for 15 minutes, and I'll discuss the rules on that, but each person will have 4 minutes, which will be timed by our vice chair. And that being done, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're in agreement. So, let's kick things off with, first of all, a review of any outstanding items that haven't been addressed so far. Board members, is there anything that you want to bring up that hasn't been previously addressed, or anything that's outstanding that wasn't clarified at our previous meetings?
No comment.
I hear none here.
No comment.
Paul, Amy?
No.
Okay. Christine? The attorneys, in presenting the case, do you have any outstanding items you wanted to discuss?
We'd just like to report there was a request to reach out to Jim Pina, the neighbor, and we have done that.
Okay.
And provided him with plans, and are continuing to work with him.
Is there, did Mr. Pena, has he had an opportunity to respond?
He's responded by, he was out this week, the email, he sent an email back confirming that he'd gotten the plans, but didn't have time to review them yet. So there's conversation open.
Okay. I would just like to make a comment, and I think you will, that, regarding the plans that's submitted, of course, the key area here is to make sure that the water runoff is properly handled, it doesn't go on his property, as well as that the will not disturb line, which I think you have at 7 feet or 8 feet, whatever that number is, that as we go forward in the project, that you'll work with Mr. Pina and Ernie the abutters, in that case, to resolve any outstanding issues that you might have, regarding that their lots are not disturbed. And also, again, nothing's disturbed beyond that line. Okay?
Understood. We'll be a
Okay.
good neighbor.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, so that brings us to public comment period. So we'd like to have a public comment period, and basically, it will be, we'll start things for 15 minutes. We have a lot to accomplish today. If for any reason the board feels that we need longer for public comment period, we will address that, okay? But probably it might be after we get done with we'll reopen it up after we get done with the decision period time. And I'd like to allow each person 4 minutes. Ken will let any speaker know at 3.5 minutes that they have 30 seconds left, okay? So that being the case, was someone who would like to start? How many people would like to make public comments? Just wondering. Okay, 3 of us? Thank you very much. All right, so that works out fine. And if you could, obviously, just state your name, address, and perhaps even sign in if you have an opportunity there.
Yeah. My name is Scott Norum. My address is 1 Catherine Rose Road,
Okay.
and I live on Hinckley Pond.
Okay. And just one reminder here, that if there are questions you have or comments, you're to make the questions to the chair, and then they'll be addressed after you finish speaking, so.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I'm speaking as a private citizen. I'm not speaking on behalf of any of the organizations that I am a part of, including the Finance Committee of Harwich or the Capital Outlay Committee. Just want to make that 100% clear. I learned to swim on Seymour Pond. My grandfather moved on Seymour Pond in 1947. My family started visiting Harwich in 1959 on Hinckley's Pond. And we've seen the quality of the water in both ponds deteriorate over these years. We've most recently had cyanobacteria blooms that have made swimming in the ponds impossible, prohibited. And I've done a lot of investigation of the reasons for that, and it's mainly, 80% of the cause is septic systems. And within that effluent, the culprit is phosphorus. We pay a lot of attention to nitrogen for good reasons, for our embayment's health, and we're required by law, as you all understand, to control nitrogen. unfortunately, there are no such laws in place for phosphorus, even though that is the limiting reagent for the cyanobacteria blooms and other effects of over nutrification of our freshwater resources. I do understand, and upon recent review of the septic system that's proposed, it's not a conventional septic, Title V septic system, and I certainly appreciate that. Probably at 9,900 gallons per day, you could have gotten under the wire and done a conventional Title V system. So it appears that there's some acknowledgement there of a responsibility to do a little bit better. And I really appreciate that's being done with nitrogen. But I'd like to appeal to you to consider similar efforts above and beyond the law to control the phosphorus that is put into the groundwater and will very quickly travel to the ponds and to the Herring River in this very sensitive neighborhood, environmentally sensitive neighborhood. There are systems and technologies that have pilot permits currently on Cape Cod. The Massachusetts Septic System Test Center, I visited there and have seen them. One of them, just as an example, is called a Waterloo system, which actually uses iron plates to precipitate phosphorus ions, which can be removed very simply from those plates. The plates are replaced, and that removes a significant percentage of the phosphorus that is of special concern to our ponds. So that's a specific request.
About 45 seconds.
Yes, thank you. That's a specific request that I would ask be considered for this project. And again, I appreciate everything that's been done. I endorse the addressing of our housing shortage. That's a primary aim of this project, I understand, but there's so much that could be done with so little additional expense. I encourage you to review that possibility. Thank you.
Thank you.
If he has anything else to add, I would like him to continue.
After we get done with everyone else, if there's time available in the first 15 minutes, then we can do that.
Okay?
All right, not a problem. But thank you for making that note.
Hi, I'm Matt Brown. I live at 2 Elizabeth Road, right in the corner of Headwaters. And I want to echo what Mr. Norum has brought to light about the effects of phosphorus, the long-term effects of phosphorus on Hinkley Pond, which I've also seen, although I have not lived or had any connection with the pond anywhere near as long as Scott has, but I've reviewed the data. This has obviously been a concern of yours for a while, and I want to express my thanks for the work that you've done and for the work that Penrose has done to bring affordable housing to Harwich. But as a member of the Hinkley Pond Association, as someone who lives so close to the pond and is so concerned about the water that we use here, I have to speak up in favor of what Mr. Norm's brought to light, and hopefully you'll pursue that avenue. And the reason for that is because while we as human beings tend to discount the future, hopefully we won't be doing that in this case. What we decide now is going to have very long-term effects, not just on the housing supply, but also on the health of the community at large, starting with the water. Hinkley Pond and the surrounding waterways that are connected with it are invaluable resources which the community depends upon. And if we do not do the very best we do to protect them as we proceed with this project, then we will find ourselves paying costs down the road, either economic costs to local businesses because the failure of the ponds winds up affecting them and their businesses, or the economic costs of remediation, which have to be borne by the town if the pond becomes unfit for use. I think we should not discount those costs now. Even if we don't know exactly what they are, like we can't pinpoint the long-term effects of a pond of this development, but we can define them as carefully as we can, which you obviously have been trying to do, and take steps, sometimes steps that might seem a little costly now, but which later on we'll reap the benefits of. And I think that installing the best possible approved septic system for this development will pay dividends later on. And you will be thanked for it. Penrose will be thanked for it. The impacts of the community of this new neighborhood, which I think you rightly call it, a new neighborhood, will be recognized as positive. I also wanted to raise one small thing. I do not know in your deliberations about any connection to the bike path which runs near this property, but I would encourage you to consider in the long term, again, that a connection to the bike path for members of this community would be a good thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nicely said, Matt. And who would like to speak next? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Monique Gordon, at 7 Edith Grove Road in Harwich, also in Clispond, owner for 25 years. First time speaking in public, so not good. But yeah, our main concern is really the pond quality and the water quality, not just in Clispond, but the Six Pond, the Box Pond area. I think this project should show the way for a future project coming around Queen Anne Road. The Marceline property has another extension. This project might have another extension. And of course, the Pine Oaks. So I think this project should be the model to move forward and go above and beyond. Because countless of hours and money has been spent taking care of the pond, buying the bug. I mean, it's been going on for decades. So we need to go above and beyond, because I second everything that if you pay more now, you're going to pay more. You don't have to pay more later. Second question, and I might be wrong on that, is septic system coming down Queen Anne Road? And is there any language to require this development to hook up to the septic when it comes down? It seems logical to me after spending all this taxpayers' money to clean the water, not to dirty it on the other hand. And I know we're talking 10 years down the road, but is it possible to add a language?
Understood.
Okay, all right, thank you.
As David suggested, we have a couple more minutes in this period. Was there anything further, Scott, that you wanted to say, or anybody else? You'd have to do it from the podium.
Just a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I am not representing Hinckley's Pond Association, but I've been involved with them for a while, and we, through what's called the PALS testing program, Pond and Lake Stewards, have been testing the waters of that pond, and I think about 6 or 7 other ponds in Harwich have been consistently tested over the last 20 to 25 years, all done by volunteers. And even though Hinckley's Pond was treated with alum, which is a treatment specifically to precipitate phosphorus right in the pond, not remove it, but precipitate it to the floor of the pond, the benefit in terms of phosphorus readings that we collected through this PALS program only lasted a few years. In fact, last summer, they spiked up to near the level that existed before the alum treatment in the fall of 2019. So it's really a pond on the brink. And something really unusual happened December before last that had never happened, I don't think, in any pond, at least in the memory of the folks who help us with the actual lab testing of these results. There was a cyanobacteria bloom in December, right before the pond froze over, which is an extremely unusual event. But just want to let you know the program that the volunteers work to test the pond in, the way in which we monitor the water, the fast rate with which phosphorus returned after this very expensive, I think over $500,000 alum treatment in fall 2019, just point to the sensitivity of these waters to phosphorus. And as I said before, it's unfortunate that the state regulations or our clean water, wastewater program, CWMP, whatever that stands for, pays attention to, which is nitrogen. Unfortunately, phosphorus is not in the laws anywhere. But this, as I said, is an opportunity to do something that I think is relatively inexpensive and easy to maintain in order to provide a really tremendous benefit or protection against further degradation of these waters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Yes.
Scott,
if I could, just as you've been monitoring the waters for 20 years, have you seen any abatement from what people are already doing in the built environment, or does it just continue to rise?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question, because the development around the pond,
It's already there.
it's already there. It's been there for a relatively long time.
So the trend, I'm saying like the trend lines haven't flatlined, right?
No,
Okay.
no. And the way the phosphorus moves, it comes from not just the houses right around the pond. It flows, I don't know how many feet per year. It's not that fast, which unfortunately means that the sort of sewer systems, if it ever comes to Pleasant Lake area, which I'm not sure it ever will, it takes 20 or 30 years to really have an impact.
Wow,
So anything we can do up front is especially valuable.
thank you. Okay. Yes. You came in late, so you have 4 minutes, and at 3.5, you'll be
I can
informed.
probably get to that, thanks. I'm Stan Zelko, I live on Catherine Rose Road by Hinckley's Pond. And I just want to say, and I sent a letter to the board,
Yes.
and one thing I want to mention is Scott talked about the alum treatment, which cost the town over $500,000. And when Wagner tested the pond after, he said, are we a stratified pond or not? It's not clear which we are, so we're halfway in between. So without a serious abatement of things flowing into the pond, we will have 10 to 20 years before the town has to spend another $500,000. And that's, as Scott said, the limiting element of cyanobacteria growth is phosphorus. And if you add something else, it's not going to change it. That's what it's lacking. And when he said 10 to 20 years, that was for the current practice. Since then, now you are considering adding 60 new housing units. And how much phosphorus does that put into the pond? And so I really question, I wonder if you've talked to Ken Wagner, I would suggest that what he would say the life expectancy is, and since it happened in 2019, and we're now 7 years into our 10 to 20 year interval, that's a question I have.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
may I ask a question?
absolutely.
Which way is the groundwater flowing? Because there's Cornelius Pond to the northeast and Hinckley to the northwest.
I believe the applicant's provided it's going to the southwest.
Correct.
Going southwest, okay,
So it's not flowing towards Hinckley's Pond.
okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
So the flow is not towards the pond?
Correct,
Not toward that pond.
Not,
correct.
Okay.
It's flowing towards.
Going towards
Six
plenty of
Ponds
other water
District.
bodies.
no, it's,
There's many other ponds.
Yes.
well, no, but that's obviously just it's
So it's
nice
flowing
to know.
towards Island Pond, apparently.
It's a very
So,
good question.
You mentioned this one technology, the Waterloo technology. Right now, it's in a pilot phase, correct?
I believe it's still in an individual residential pilot phase at this
So
point.
I'm not sure that'd be appropriate to put a pilot piece of equipment on a condition,
Well, it's a,
unless we were able to come up with wording that says if and when it comes online,
right.
it would need to be implemented. Also, this is a problem that already exists, so it's gonna happen whether this development comes in or not. It's continuing to happen, whether it came from the homes, I don't know what fertilizer they used in the surrounding cranberry bogs over the years. I assume phosphorus was eliminated quite a while ago, I don't know, though.
Yeah.
So any kind of, and without knowing the cost, it's tough to put a condition on here that's unreasonable for a development like this. That's the problem
Right.
that I see.
Yeah. The technology is, it's a pilot in this region. It's not a pilot in the sense of being experimental. It's a proven technology. The pilot phase of approval is one of the stages in Massachusetts law for new technologies in septic systems.
So you're saying in other states or municipalities, it is already a
A proven
a
general
proven
use
technology
yes.
in use
Yeah.
that,
And it's,
which
it's a-
ones are those?
Well, I know the company is based in Canada. I believe some of those ongoing installations are in Canada, but that's easy for me to find out if requested. The good thing about this technology is that it does not, it could be put into an existing Title V septic systems with no modification. It goes into a secondary tank on its way to the leaching field, and that's where it picks up the phosphorus. I would also mention one thing about the Monomoy aquifer, the Monomoy lens of our aquifer. The flow of groundwater does not prevent this phosphorus from reaching Hinckley's Pond, Long Pond, Seymour Pond, and the Herring River. The water level is maybe 15 or 20 feet down. As soon as it's in our Monomoy lens, it's generally in the entire lens. And that's what these ponds sit on top of.
We have to comment, public comment period is now over. We've been past the 15 minutes that that the board agreed to. But we'll see how the meeting is going, and then we'll reopen public comment period when it's at an appropriate time, if available. I do have one question regarding phosphorus. Maybe, I don't know if anybody here can answer that. But what percentage of the phosphorus problem is based upon coming from sewage, septic, whatever, as well as, and the other, what percentage is because of fertilizers? And I'll ask that question to Scott, because you seem to be very familiar with this.
85, 50.
Yeah, it's not scientifically measured, but the common understanding is that about 80% of the phosphorus in our ponds is coming from septic systems, about 15% from fertilizer.
Okay.
And the last 5 is mainly atmospheric and runoff from the roads.
All right, thank you very much.
And I have heard similar numbers elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I wasn't totally clear on that. I actually myself thought it was primarily a fertilizer issue more so than a septic
And I've
issue.
heard what Scott has said.
Yeah, so, that's good to know. I had, after reading Scott's letters and others that came in regarding particularly the Waterloo technology and so forth, I did speak to Carrie Schroner, our public health. And basically, obviously, the system that they've offered here is Title V compliant. And, you know, her immediate thoughts were the fact that, you know, let's see what happens after things get through testing period with the state and so forth. And I can only employ the fact that to the applicant, and I don't believe we can make a condition because what they've already offered is Title V compliant, which the state would approve. Any condition we would do, they would have the opportunity to have it overruled by the state, all right? If technology comes forward by the time you're doing the septic systems, that particularly, and being a good neighbor, you take these things under consideration. I don't know what the cost factor is on it, but what I've heard, where it's a separate box that can be put in, it seems to be a simple thing. If that technology proves out to be effective, okay, I would employ the applicant to do that.
And to be upfront, I mean, they're gonna be excavating and doing all the soil work very, very early on, and it isn't something that, you know, right before occupancy, they're gonna turn around and rip up the ground to put in
Oh, I realize that.
additions to the septic system.
But we're not gonna be digging next week. It's gonna be,
No, but
be happening a little while.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Could we ask the applicant if they have a position on that?
yes, you have it too.
I mean, I want to applaud all the individuals who spoke about the system and the phosphorus and the impacts of phosphorus to ponds in the area. I think it's not just being a good neighbor, but our residents will be residents of Harwich also and enjoy going to these ponds. So I think this is, for us, we don't install septic systems everywhere, so this is educational for us also, and we're happy to look at what systems are available, and as we continue design, to continue to look at what technologies become available. This will put a flag for us that this is something that we should continue to look at over time, and we're happy to do so. Just at this moment, we don't know what the technologies are, their appropriateness for multifamily housing and capacity. So we can't commit to it at this time, but we definitely want to continue to look at that and want to continue to look at that because we also, our residents will be kind of part of Harwich also.
I mean, my thoughts on it, which is where I was going with the trend lines in the ponds, is this is like the traffic. This is a town problem that exists, and I just feel like putting condition on this one project, is sort of putting a Band-Aid on a larger problem.
Correct.
And I would, if the town basically accepted or adopted some new standard, this technology, and said every resident, when they replace their septic or when they do something, has to go to this, I would be supportive. But I think, to just single out one project when there's years of history and trend lines that say it's already an issue, I think it's, putting too much into.
No, certainly the town could require residents, when septic systems are done, to go to this technology.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But they have not done so yet.
No.
So,
And as comment about and it also ties in with the question regarding the bike paths. We have the North Harwich traffic study that was done over 2 years ago, and the infrastructure of that area needs to be greatly improved. These 40B projects, including Pine Oaks Village and this one, do open up opportunities for the town to improve the infrastructure and tie it into the affordable housing opportunities that have been on the 40Bs. And there's a great opportunity for the town to receive substantial money, towards grants, because doing infrastructure changes that will support, affordable housing. And if the town delays that opportunity, then they may lose the opportunity to be able to go after grants if the horse is already down the road. And so they've got to consider closing the barn door on this thing and get moving. And that would include considerations of, extensions of sidewalks to the bike path and so forth. So we're hope that at the conclusion of these 40Bs, and this one here, the town will, and I think I've had discussions with the new town administrator, and he is aware of the opportunity, the situation, and I think he is motivated to help the select board and the town pursue opportunities to improve infrastructure. Okay, so.
We address septic?
Yeah.
There was a public comment about septic and hooking up the septic.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to address that.
Yes, go right ahead.
Sewer, I said sewer. Stop. Sewer. I think the fact that you're not requesting a waiver, this is how you and I discussed this as well. If you're not requesting a waiver, that means you'll be treated like any other Harwich resident when sewer arrives, meaning that there will be an expectation and a requirement, I'm assuming, to connect. But they haven't requested a waiver from that, so we have to assume that maybe it's 20 years or 25 years before sewer arrives. They will be treated like any other resident in Harwich. I hope that addresses your issue.
Thank you. All right, I think the next step here is to jump into the draft decision. Now, Attorney Rose commented to me that they do have revisions to this, suggested revisions to what we have in front of us. Excuse me. Getting all choked up, no one getting the decision time. Okay. This draft, I think, is available for everyone that's here. I think there were enough handouts for everybody. Rose, you also have additional handouts for the board,
I do,
and I think, is it appropriate this time to distribute those?
certainly.
ahead.
I'll defer to Amy, but what I'd like to do is, I have a running list of small changes, and I've got copies for everyone, and I've shared them with Paul and Amy yesterday.
Okay.
There are a couple of additional ones that were late breaking this morning, so I'll flag those if they're
All right.
not on this list.
So what the process is going to be is, we're going to go by this draft,
Correct.
and then,
And
at the appropriate time, you can point out
Correct.
a change that you have on yours. But we're not going to directly review yours. I
Correct.
just want you to highlight when it's
Exactly.
time to take a look at a particular thing.
It's very, very confusing if we do it that way because her numbers are off.
Okay,
So she provided numbers based on one, then we have another one. I think it's better if she goes over her changes.
all right, so we'll leave it,
Yeah.
okay, then I'll defer to that.
But we
So
still
hold-
have to figure out where
There they are.
in the document.
Right, that's
this
what,
is the
that's
only
what
one
she's
that
gonna
they
do.
need.
Sure.
So as we go through them, if she has a change, she can talk about the change. The
Okay.
change is up to you guys.
Right,
Yeah.
Can we still get it in writing, the piece of paper she has?
absolutely.
You can, but,
I
we're gonna
understand
put it
that
in however you
procedurally-
guys want the language.
Yep, I still would like to get the piece of paper.
All right, so why don't you distribute it,
Sure.
and we'll do that.
I'll distribute,
Thank
we
you.
have 3 different sets of paper.
See, this is what I'm
This-
talking
this is
about.
I realize
Well, the
that.
problem is we got everything yesterday, and so it's
No, I understand.
running.
Again, the board, I just want you to focus on Amy's document, not on
Correct,
this. So since
These
one of the
are just
members would like to
proposed.
see it,
right,
I'm going to defer and let everyone have a copy of it.
right. So what I'd like to do, and we'll see how it works, is I'm gonna give you this running list, and then I have 2 additional sets of paper. One is about the affordability condition, and the second one is about traffic. So some comments from Jacob Taylor,
Yeah.
some comments from Jeff.
Yeah. The key thing is to keep the flow going, that keeps things not confusing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public records, so they need to be provided to the audience.
Oh, we need to provide them today to the audience?
We have extra copies, I'm doing that now.
Okay,
If you're
all right.
gonna go over them,
Okay.
no. If you're gonna go over them word for word, no, but,
We're not.
so.
Okay. All right, that's fine. All right. As the first step, we follow the Yellow Brick Road here, is page 1. I'm assuming there's no changes to the cover page, except
None.
for the date? Okay.
Would've been numbered.
Going to page 2, it's not numbered, but the background page, the second paragraph. After district, I would add, and the Six Ponds Overlay District.
Okay, where are we again?
The third line of the second paragraph,
After RR zoning district,
correct.
you want to add what?
And the Six Ponds Overlay District.
Those are separate zoning requirements.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, are you going to do that?
Is that, all those, any
Well,
problems
I
there?
need to ask if we, from a council, do you suggest we do that?
You can.
Is there a reason why we wouldn't? If they have separate zoning needs?
I mean, it's a fact, isn't it?
It's a fact,
Straddles both zones.
Yeah.
right.
And the Six Pond zoning district, okay.
Okay. Six Pond overlay.
Overlay district.
Overlay district, yep.
Do you take a vote on each individual change?
No,
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 we
no,
don't
no,
need
no,
to.
no, I just need to know.
Yep.
No, yeah.
You're changing that.
Obviously, if there's an issue, we'll discuss it.
Yep.
In that same paragraph, and this is something that's not on your list, but in that same paragraph, when it's discussing for the term, the duration of terms, so it says for a term of at least 50 years. And then the in perpetuity language. That was discussed, there were 2 paragraphs discussed at the June 11th hearing, and this confuses those. The duration of the affordability of the units will be addressed later on, but we'd like this to be taken out here.
Well, I have a bit of concern with that, because looking deeper into the document, on page 9, it talks about durability or additional restrictions for perpetuity for units. There's nothing listed there, so I was gonna refer that back to page 2 to that paragraph, because that's the only place where the specifics are actually mentioned.
We've got comments for that later section as well, and we think we'll clear that up. But we don't think it fits here. It doesn't reflect what the agreement is, and it doesn't reflect the LDA.
Hmm.
But you can put a pause on that for the moment if you'd like to see it all together.
I'm good.
I'm pretty okay with what we've got as it is, not making a change.
But if it doesn't match,
It doesn't match.
How doesn't it match?
I think it does match.
80% and 100% are
In
are
perpetuity?
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't.
25% are in perpetuity, and that's the 80 and the 100.
Well, the 25% at 80%, so the 100% is above the 80% AMI. So that wouldn't qualify under the 40B.
That's going to remain 100% in perpetuity, correct? Or are you going to turn that into affordables?
Well, sorry, this is Jacob Taylor from Klein Horning. The 25% at 80% will be in perpetuity, or, you know, for the term of the comprehensive permit, so as long as the structure is there, structures are there. And I did try and tweak the language a little bit to clarify that later on, and that will come up. So you'll see later on in our revisions, it requires the recording of a 40B rider to the regulatory agreements, which would preserve the 25% at 80% in perpetuity, and that is addressed below.
Can we turn up the mic? I can hardly, would you, you weren't,
Closer, speak louder.
We can't hear you very well, Jacob.
I think we should take.
Sure, sorry, is this better?
Yes.
We'll see what's.
Okay. I was saying, you know, that we are agreeing to 25% at 80% in perpetuity, which is the 40B requirements. And that's addressed in more detail below. My feeling was that having this language up here sort of confuses things, and it requires this perpetual restriction at 100%, where we're actually agreeing to 80% below.
all right, I would like to suggest that we move forward on this.
Sure.
And not address, go back and address this when we get to page 9 and look at both items at the same time.
So, Mr. Chairman, there's also another issue with this, is that this was taken directly from their project narrative, except for the in perpetuity, which I added. But right here, it says 9 residential units for housing, for households at or below 80%, and it should be 15, correct? Because that's 25%. So I think all of these numbers are off, so I have a note about that.
So these are the actual affordability levels that we're proposing. So it would make sense to keep them as a factual statement to show you the different tiers that will be affordable at 50% for 50 years. The perpetuity piece is where you could say only 15 units affordable in perpetuity at 80% or below, but that would eliminate all the additional restrictions that we are committing to. So that's why those two pieces are confusing.
You have to commit to the 50%, to the 25%, the 80%, no matter what. I mean, that's the law, right?
But they need to be in perpetuity. Right now, it's only going to be 9. And I think that's what she's saying, but I don't understand what she's saying, quite honestly.
This is going to state the current for the next 50 years, and then there'll be a separate agreement that'll cover the after 50 years, which will be 25 in perpetuity at 80%. Is that what you're proposing?
Jacob, that's kind of right.
Yeah. I mean, if you go down to, I mean, and this is going to come up in paragraphs, I think 22 and around there.
Speak up,
But,
Jacob.
Yeah,
Close
so
to that
this is
mic.
going to come up in paragraphs 22 and around that area of the decision later. But in short, we're proposing to rely on the 40B rider, which is what imposes the 25% at 80% and will be in perpetuity.
Mr. Chairman?
And we agree that that should be
Please don't, sorry.
imposed via the comprehensive permit. We should be required to record that. And that will survive in perpetuity, would survive foreclosure, et cetera.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
what we need is what we did with POV, which is what we had, essentially, we had a chart. We had, and this is an example. We had 10 units at 30%.
Right.
We had 15 units at 50%. We had 7 units at 60%, and we had, 6 units at, or whatever, 25% at 80%. We don't have that here because the way that it's laid out in the narrative, it's essentially, it says that 9 or below 80, and it says that there's 60, and then 60%. So they go from percent to units, and that's where the math isn't working out for me. And I'm not a math person, but it's just not working out, which is why this needs to be figured out, because there needs to be 15 units that are at or below 80% that are protected in perpetuity, and I don't think that's happening.
So 6 of the 60% units
Yes.
are going to have to be restricted in perpetuity.
That's what I'm.
At 80% though.
Correct, even though they are proposed at 60%.
Right, so-
We need the language to
Right.
reflect.
Exactly.
It's kind of an
that it's-
overlay.
It's essentially going to be 9 units at 80%, 6 units at 60%, affordable in perpetuity, although the restriction is only 80% for all 15.
So they could change
Right.
the 6
Right.
units up to 80.
After 50, yes.
I-
That's what
if I-
Chris was saying, I think, too. It's kind of like there's an overlay of that, of the perpetuity requirements on top of what they're gonna do for the 50 years.
Yes.
If I may, I think this was descriptive of how the project's going to be developed, but not dealing with the duration of the various units. And so that is going to be dealt with in following paragraphs. And so what's confusing here is adding the language about how long those units last
They
in
did
this
have
paragraph.
a table at one point, Amy, that listed all of the various units.
And that's where the math didn't come out, because there was only 9.
Yeah, so maybe that needs to be inserted and
For
corrected.
25%.
Are we talking about?
I think we can do it with Paul's language, which is basically just, we would lay out the 6 extra units.
Okay.
What's on our document that we have, paragraph 16 towards the end. I think it were, towards the end of 25 units.
Toward the end of what? What
Toward
is
the
it?
end of that paragraph. What's numbered paragraph 16?
We're not on 16.
No,
We're on the second. on the
He's
top.
mentioning that under housing, number
That's where
16.
it ties in to 25%.
Still under the background, four paragraphs
This
down.
one, this is 28. It's gonna be 100 below.
What's paragraph 16, paragraph 17, paragraph 22? They're all addressing
Above
this.
100, let me mark it.
It's actually below, there's only.
I mean, 3 paragraphs later in the background, is we
And?
go through this again.
Are at below
All right,
30,
so we need a table.
below 80, and 9 below 100. It doesn't know.
Okay.
Paul, can you,
Which
I mean,
means
you right
28,
now,
then we mark
because we need to include this, write out, handwritten, a table that we're gonna need. And we're, or if you, while we're going through this document, Paul, would you write out a table that you think is required?
I don't think a table is required. I think just adding a sentence. So I think if we got rid of the language in here about in perpetuity where it is currently, and then at the end of the sentence, so the sentence ends in 9 residential units for households at or below 100% of AMI in perpetuity. Get rid of the
What number are we
perpetuity.
on?
This is still number 1.
Still in what, in the second paragraph?
Second paragraph of the entire agreement.
So I would have it say 9 residential rental units for households at or below 80% of the AMI. Get rid of the in perpetuity.
Well, that has to stay.
Well,
For the
I'm
80%.
going to move it.
Okay.
And then in 9 residential rental units for households at or below 100% of AMI, and then get rid of the in perpetuity. And
And
then after that sentence, just add a sentence, notwithstanding the preceding, a minimum of 80%, 25% of the units, for a total of 15 units, shall be affordable in perpetuity.
Okay,
Okay, are you okay with that, Amy?
I am.
that's kind of the overlay comment, yeah.
That makes
And this,
sense.
I think, helps
Yeah.
to try to
Yeah.
It says it
avoid
clearly.
the trying to parse out, which units are which, and just, we've got an overarching
15 or
statement.
16 units.
It's 15, 15 is 25% of 60.
Is the applicant okay with that?
Yes. That makes
Yes.
perfect sense.
That's perfect.
They're gonna have to write it for me, but that's good.
Not to beat a dead horse, though.
Oh.
No, I
But I'm going
No, the
Go ahead, read
math,
it.
the math, earlier it said there's 42 residential units.
It is very it is, I
at or
can't
below
do the math either,
60%,
John.
Right?
It is
But then we
confusing.
only talk about 28 more units in the next two sentences. The paragraph never reconciles to 60 units, you know what I'm saying?
It's because of they go from percent to
No,
units.
it's 42 plus
42, 9,
9,
and 9.
right, plus 9.
42
That's
plus 10, 10.
Plus,
Plus 9, plus 9.
10,
Yeah,
9,
that's what I've
9.
got.
So
well, that's sort of a subset, right?
the
So
10
40
is counted
So
in
it's
the.
Yeah,
52 plus 9 plus 9, so it doesn't work out.
I mean, 42
Well, no,
plus
it's,
9 plus
10
9.
is-
I think that the
Subset.
10 units is a subset of the
42.
42
Mhm.
units.
Correct.
We can eliminate that if it makes
Yeah.
Yeah,
more
sure.
sense to everyone.
Yeah, because like I said, when you add the
Well,
numbers.
42 plus 9
that means
plus
you're, that means you're eliminating the lowest
Right.
one, no.
I think it's
That's part of
fine.
the deal.
I think it reads fine, you just have to read it closely.
Well, explain it to us then.
Because it does say approximately 10 of these units.
Right, 10 of the 42
Of
units.
the 42.
Right.
I can add 10 of the 42. Would that make more sense?
Versus of these?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd make the math easier.
Of these 42 units.
Right, but the
Yeah.
math is the 42 plus 9 plus 9.
It makes
And that
60.
gets you to 60.
And then you get 60.
I see you're saying, yep.
42, yeah, okay, got it.
And I'm with Amy, I'm also not particularly good at math, but that's why I became a lawyer.
Why wouldn't we?
Well, this was easy. What's the next paragraph?
This is flowing right along, I mean, I'm pretty impressed.
Okay.
All right,
Well, we repeat this commentary like 3 or 4 times in the document. I mean, it's in the 4th paragraph again.
Not as detailed in the 4th, but yeah, I can fix it there too.
Okay?
Yeah. Let's put a note to fix it.
I can't add the fact this discussion has cleared the room.
You don't find this interesting?
I think the applicant's ready to leave also, I'm not quite sure.
We haven't even gotten to the first condition yet. So I do have one question. So we're putting that 25% in perpetuity, but that does not, if we're putting it here, that's just a preamble.
Correct.
We can
This is
still
a background.
condition it to be not 25, but something else. We haven't gotten there yet, I guess is what I'm saying,
Correct.
right?
And it goes in somewhere else again, right?
Yeah, okay, just want to make
I
sure.
thought at the last meeting, you guys agreed to have 25% in perpetuity and then 75% at 50.
I did not
Right.
agree.
Oh,
Let's be very
okay,
clear.
okay, so we'll get to that. Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Most of the boards seem to be in favor of that. Ken was withholding
Okay,
his comment.
sorry, then we can discuss it when we get to
Yeah.
it, sorry.
But this, putting it in here doesn't affect a change later. Or should we talk about it now?
Well, this is really just discussing what the proposal was.
The current state?
What they,
Correct.
This is-
It's
this is
not-
what
it's
they
not the board's
offered.
Yeah,
condition.
okay,
this
yep,
is what they offered in their.
right, got it.
Okay. All right, well, how's the 3rd paragraph looking?
Do we need to change the square footage?
There are dates missing.
Yeah, that's based upon when,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, honestly.
that's given the fact of if there's going to be any additional meetings, that's why it says that.
Shoot for 11.
I need confirmation on the square feet.
37,500.
So I'm deleting that comment. We're good on that one,
Okay.
right?
Okay, all right. Okay. Next paragraph, starting with the decision approves.
Jacob has a comment on the 1, 2, 3, fourth line after the AMI. We'd like to include the affordable units. And this will make sense. You can hold this. This will make sense when we get to the further discussions.
So it's gonna be
Yeah,
or not.
The issue there was just that the defined term was deleted
Okay.
later in the subsequent.
All right, so it's gonna be or below 100% of the AMI, and then what?
Open quote, I'm gonna say open paren, the open quote affordable units with A capitalized and unit U capitalized, close quote, close paren.
Don't we already
Well-
title it later? I mean,
I don't see the purpose here.
And the 100%, are they technically the affordable units? I don't think they are.
They're not,
That's what they
but,
just
but there's a
confirmed.
I just don't want to include them in the definition of affordable units if they're
right,
not.
right.
So I added that because that defined term got deleted later on. I'm agnostic as to where we insert that definition.
let's,
It just
yeah.
is
Yeah,
needed
let's
to
hold it
make
in.
the
Okay,
added
we're gonna-
text
Okay.
later
Okay,
on.
no changes here.
Okay, great. So section Roman numeral 2, 17, there's just a typo, building height.
Under submittals, Chris, number 17. See page 3.
It's a
It's just a
spelling.
spelling.
It's just spelling.
Spelling thing.
Oh.
It's page 3, section 17. I then skipped to page 5, G.
Well, hold on a
If
second.
anybody else has
Okay,
anything.
Let me
Okay.
handle the pages.
Certainly, okay.
All right. Okay. All right, so we're all set with A and B. Any questions?
Well, B, just, they were in response to questions we had posed, but I think in the meetings after March 4th, we presented a couple PowerPoints. We had the discussion of the parking and lighting. The last PowerPoint we showed was March 4th, but there was a couple presentations and meetings after that.
That's up to them. Do you guys have those?
Yeah,
Just the dates of the PowerPoint presentations, please.
Yeah.
we can provide them.
They would be of the hearing dates.
Add.
Okay,
We must have those, right,
I need,
Rachel?
we need them now.
Don't, we need them now,
No,
before
I
we
don't.
close it.
I don't have them. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're necessarily PowerPoints or if they
Yeah.
just
Again, I think they
hold
were in
up
response
images
to
of
our-
plans they submitted.
Oh,
They're all PowerPoints. So we-
But we
Okay.
wouldn't formally submit them.
Oh, no, they were just, yes.
I mean, if they don't have to be, I'm just saying that there were definitely slides that were.
It wasn't a,
Or they were presented, they have to be
presented, they're part
submitted.
of the record. If
Yeah.
they were presented, they're part of the
Right,
record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we went through
So
slides.
we would
at
need
several
them.
meetings, right?
And we need them before you close this.
Yes,
Okay, you can send right now.
all right. Okay, we need to get,
Again, I remember specifically.
We need
our
them
discussions
for the
about
public
parking
hearings.
Yes.
was
Yeah,
about
you can't
the
take
lighting.
anything, any testimony or anything, but after it closes.
Brian, did you catch that? Parking and lighting were the two that we were thinking of.
Again, that I recalled, but
But you said that you thought there were some after March 4th, and that was last month, or last meeting was parking and lighting. So there must be others.
yeah, no, there were, again, we talked about like the turning radiuses of the garbage trucks and stuff like that. I mean, there were,
But some of
But
that, John, they were just presenting the drawings, which are listed separately than from the PowerPoint presentations, wasn't it?
that's possible. I mean, I just wanted to raise it that there were.
Right, they did.
In case we have.
They did have a whole bunch of drawings and so forth that they presented.
Yeah, because you see the plans, they
They've
go
all
all the
been
way
part
to
of the
May.
record.
Mhm.
I think they're just revised plans that were submitted that I have listed later on. I have all the revised documents.
Yeah, again, I'm okay with it, just as long as someone doesn't say, hey, I remember there were slides.
I
that
don't
we
know if it was
threw in the
necessarily a
meeting.
PowerPoint that was put together, but I know the applicant
Yeah.
pulled up revised plans on the screen that I do have those and should be listed.
the lighting plan is the only new one that I recall.
But that was a drawing.
But it was a PowerPoint presentation.
It was a,
Right, but the drawing, the PowerPoint just pulled a piece of the drawing.
the
didn't
key
it?
thing is, it was I believe, from my point of view, it was new information, which is
That-
what we're talking about.
I have the most recent lighting plan dated May 21st under the list of revised
Right,
materials.
so why don't we put in
Right.
May 21st?
It's already in here.
No, it's already in there under
Okay.
revised.
Section.
Oh, that's right, you're right. All right, so
Parking and lighting are both in there, number 16 and 17 under C.
Right, those are the things we
so
looked
we're
at.
good, I think we're good to go.
I think so.
So we're not, I'm not.
Not gonna revise anything.
Okay.
Okay, applicants revised materials and responses, 1 to 17, I think, I didn't see anything there. Town's D, town peer review documentation. I believe everything is included. Of course, critical to the whole procedures here has been my memorandums, of course, on number E.
The glue.
Can't leave those out. I think that was about it. That's, no one's asked to document my narratives in the decision, so that's all right. All right, we're on F.
No questions.
Okay. G,
Just had a comment, 11 and 12, the Stapleton memos, they should go, I believe, into H, letters and correspondence from the public.
yes, that's true. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that should be, there's a total of either 11 or 12 letters from clients, from residents.
I've got
We have
15.
10.
You're 15?
10.
Well, 10 if you move 11 and 12 down, right? But then that list does not include the couple we got today.
Right.
All right, so we have,
We got 4 more, so that would be 16. 14.
we had, okay, so we've got I just have a memo from Ken, which is, thank you, spot on. Letter from Lynn Stapleton on April 23rd, Scott Norum on June 23rd, Tom Stapleton, also another correspondence on 6/24. Stanley, and I'll give you this list.
Those are the
Right, so
four,
we-
those are the 4 new ones.
We already have Lynn Stapleton on here, so if you just give me that list, I'll add to this. It looks like there's probably 14.
Right. All right, I'll hand it to you in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Lynn Stapleton's definitely covered.
Okay.
Under 12.
And Ken, thank you for that memo this morning. All right. Waivers and conditions. HI, we're on I. Okay.
Are we in findings of fact, Mr. Chairman?
I guess there's nothing more there. So now we're on findings of facts.
Amy, what's the highlighted part about?
First of all, on number 1, I added in 6 ponds overlay. And the highlighted part is a question for the applicant. Are they a limited dividend organization or not, right now?
They are not, but
Okay,
the owner
so then the
entity.
language would
and
stay the
There will be a
same.
subsidiary owner entity that will be,
So, Mr. Chairman, the language would just stay the same, that it is, and I'll take out the highlighting.
Okay. All right, wait a minute. So we're eliminating A?
No.
No.
You said,
No, no,
take out,
we-
you said take out the highlighted.
No,
So
no.
that stays the
Highlighted.
same. Okay. Okay. All right, that's correct. Thank you. So make sure.
What was the other, Amy, you said something in paragraph 1?
She added the 6 ponds to the description.
Oh, the 6 ponds, okay.
Okay. All right. 5, 6, all set. Okay, decision 4.
to page 7?
I'm on page, well, I'm on
Section 4.
on 5 now, conditions of approval.
It is annoying that I didn't put in page numbers.
Yeah, where are you getting the
I'm
page
in
numbers,
now.
by the way? I don't have page numbers.
That doesn't
Yeah,
help
page
either.
number is mine either.
Oh, you put them on, oh, thank you. I'm looking around saying, okay, what is it I'm not looking at? Let's get out my bigger glasses.
School style.
All right, conditions of approval. Any questions on any of this? On page 7. And we'll flip the page over to 8. Items 7 through 13, are there any questions?
I have a question on number 12. The last 3 lines, everything after the wastewater disposal of the project shall be managed in accordance with the terms and requirements of Title V, 310 CMR 1500.
15,000.
15,000, sorry. I think that the language after that is broad, incredibly broad. I'm not sure what the applicant is committing to at that point. I'd like that to be struck if possible.
I actually tend to agree, having read it. To me, that was such a vague statement. How could you possibly
I
know
don't know what
what
it-
the implications are?
It's from the Cape Cod Commission comments.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
So what are we eliminating?
All
Just
the, well, we're not. we're
Everything after
discussing
15,000,
After 15,000.
So get rid of and shall be.
correct.
Amy?
You had it in PO4, and it was comments from the Cape Cod Commission, so it's up to you guys.
I would strike it personally. John?
I don't have a strong opinion.
I don't,
I mean, the first sentence is you're gonna comply with everything.
Right.
So should we add Cape Cod Commission to the first sentence, and then delete it? Delete the last sentence?
Sounds like a good compromise.
That seems to open up a can of worms, though, if you had Cape Cod Commission up there.
We've already got all applicable rules, regulations, permit, and filing requirements.
And then it says of the Harwich Planning Board, Select Board, Conservation Commission Department. Do you want to say the town and Department of Environmental Protection and the Cape Cod Commission? Just leave it at that? They have to comply with Cape Cod Commission, it's a local board.
yes.
So they've
Does
asked
the
for a
applicant
waiver.
agree?
We agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see the Cape Cod Regional Policy Plan also, you know, or commission noted in that.
Okay.
You all set with that, Amy?
So I changed it to Town of Harwich, Cape Cod Commission, and Department of Environmental Protection.
And eliminate words after 15,000.
Yes. It's actually 15.
15.00.
Yeah.
It's a European way of writing 15,000.
All right, so it's CMR 15?
.000.
Yes,
Oh,
which all the
okay.
other CMRs only have 2 zeros, but
Okay.
this one has 3, and I never know why. Never knew why.
Zeros are important, though.
Okay. All right. Housing,
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. So here I'd like for Jacob to speak to the changes suggested in 16. And
We
what
have
I'd also like
handouts.
to do is have handouts for you all showing the changes suggested.
all right, can you, because I will defer to Jacob, but can you explain what Jacob, you know, so we can hear verbally a little bit stronger than his voice over the mic?
So,
What- being
Mr.
complicated.
Chairman, first, why don't we talk about my comment?
Yes.
Because this is a condition that was suggested by the peer reviewer, but I don't think it fits in this situation, which is why I have it deleted. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable with that deletion, because it was recommended by the peer reviewer. This is the standard condition when you have just 25% at 80% or lower.
So isn't this the same thing as the 25% to 80%?
But they're doing more than that. And so I think that I think this will confuse.
I think restating these things here over and over again, I'd get rid of it. Anybody else have a,
So we're saying the highlighted section we're getting rid of.
that's, it's in
Cross
red,
out.
that's in red and crossed off, yes.
Yeah, get rid of it all.
The only issue I'll flag there, and I mentioned this earlier, is if we get rid of that, we don't have a defined term, affordable units.
Yeah, we
So-
can fix that, that's not a big deal. But do you want it deleted?
My recommendation is
I don't
to
care.
delete.
I wasn't asking.
You don't want to repeat the paragraph that we reworded from the background section in here? I mean, isn't this the place where it should be?
Like, are you gonna, Attorney, do you have something to present to us that you want it to be?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Okay.
So is this gonna stay or not?
Out, per your suggestion.
I think something should be in there that's consistent.
Well, it is, Dave. That's what she's gonna hand out, I think.
I know, Ken, thank you. We hope what she's handing out is consistent.
Agreed.
All right, what page are we looking at? Oh,
Ken may have to renumber them for us.
She didn't number hers either.
Nobody's ever heard of page numbers.
Housing. Housing.
yeah, we're on
Put the condition we were.
we're looking at housing,
Third from the last page.
excuse me.
Yep. So they just crossed out the same thing.
No, that's mine.
Right, well, I mean, they kept it crossed out.
That's my comment, yeah.
Affordable restrictions in here.
All right, so what,
Yeah, but where is it?
Okay.
all right, so what am I looking at?
Yeah, in pink, yep.
Okay, so if you go to paragraph 16, you can see Amy's red line deletion at the top. And then Jacob's comments are
I think he further
Yeah,
defined that the
Right.
25% will be at 80% or below. And the additional restrictions or the additional affordability levels at the 30, 60, 80, and 100, all of that is already detailed in the land disposition agreement. So that would be it's, I think, capitalized, and that's how the additional restrictions are defined. But we can add that in here specifically for reference, if that's helpful.
So, Mr. Chairman, I like David's or Mr. Wilson's suggestion to take the paragraph that we just worked on from the beginning, where it starts with 42, and then where we did 42, and then we did of these 42, that whole thing, if we put that at the beginning of this condition.
Amy, I would ask the question if that's the right place, or is it in 17? Because that's where they're gonna mirror the trust.
they just added 17. to-
Right,
no, they-
they're
no, they
adding 17, which is, this is why the numbers are gonna get all messed up now. So,
You have 17 in the one you gave us.
didn't. No,
Right.
I'm
But
sorry.
it's a
they're
different,
both- they're
different
both red.
verbiage.
Yeah, I think that's.
No, 17 was added in the last go-around, and.
It's in the book.
17 is mine.
right.
Right.
This is why,
I think 20
so
is there.
Jacob used red when he did red line. Jeff Dirk used blue, which was great, but this is why I can't figure out what's mine and what's his anymore. This is why it's very, very confusing to have this in front of us, which is why I was hoping we could just do it verbally.
Okay,
But,
I understand.
but do we want to talk about adding, or do you think, Ken, you think it's better in 17?
Well, I just know it has to be in our document. That's my position.
It has to be a
I
condition,
defer to
right?
where it should go, but it needs to be in this document.
So let's put it at the beginning of 16, because then and then it can flow into 17.
I agree with Ken, as long as it's in this section of housing.
Okay.
Jacob's concern about affordable units not being defined, can't that be addressed in that
Yep.
sentence that starts at least 25%?
I can put it there.
Yeah, of the units, forget affordable, and then in parentheses, the affordable units
Mhm.
shall permanently remain affordable.
Okay, so I'm gonna take
That way it's a defined term, right? Does that satisfy Jacob, or?
Yeah, that's fine, and just to be clear, so we're defining affordable units as the 25% at 80%.
Or, just for further clarification, should we say the permanent affordable unit? Because it's not the same number as the first 50 units, affordable units.
No, so, no. The affordable units, the affordable units have to be all of them, because we're talking about, further down, we're talking about the affordable units shall be subject to local preference based upon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it has to be all of them, not just the 25%.
Yes.
Right, the term affordable units, but the 25 is really the ones that survive past 50 years, right?
Correct.
Call those the permanent affordable. Is there
Right.
some way to distinguish them
does
from?
say-
But Jacob's
Yes, it
suggestion
shall
of
be
calling
permanently
affordable units
affordable.
only the 25% we can't do.
We use the term interchangeably, right?
No, I think that actually works. I think the way the document is drafted, that it's okay if affordable units encompasses all of the units, that's
Okay.
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 But Amy, you're gonna add in that 16, what we agreed upon in the prelude?
Yes, and I have that. So, again, I have notwithstanding the minimum.
Good.
Well, Ken, at what point, because we're discussing the limitation of
So were they okay with
perpetuity,
this change?
did you want to review, if you have any further comments regarding that? Because you were holding it back from the last meeting. We're kind of in the throes of those discussions now, so I don't know if this is the appropriate time to.
Well, it's probably as good as any. I'll probably reiterate my earlier concern and my lack of support for this specific condition, but not for the development. You know, I think about our last 40B, where they offered units into perpetuity, they had lower rents, and so the Affordable Housing Trust has negotiated a deal with higher rents and not into perpetuity. And I believe that if you'd asked our community at a town meeting, do they think it's okay to spend money from the town's taxpayers to support temporary permanent housing, if you want to use that term, not permanent affordable housing? I think it would be unanimously defeated. And I believe that I represent the community, and so I'm going to vote my conscience on this condition, again, telling you that I am also still in full support of the project.
Any other comments on that? Anybody? Okay. Again,
Just a general question. Is there an area in the document where you can comment on things that we found to be less than ideal, that we approved the document despite them?
I don't,
In the
no,
in your findings of facts, in your findings, you could.
you could,
I don't know if they're really facts.
Well, they're do I call them findings of facts or findings? I mean, they would be findings, like
Because
with
there's a lot
with
of
any decision you make.
compromises.
Yeah, oh, I say findings of fact. I could just change it to findings, and you can add that the board,
I mean, basically, as I said the last meeting, I feel the board would have preferred that the agreement between Penrose and the Affordable Trust was for, 100% perpetuity. However, the board has recognized the negotiations that were done between the Affordable Trust and Penrose, and supports their final agreement. I mean, is that properly, as far as majority of the board, is that?
Majority of the board support
Majority of
would
the
be a more
board.
accurate statement.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, there were many other issues, the wastewater treatment, the sidewalk down to the Queen, I mean, there were a whole lot of things that we thought, we don't like it, but, as a part of the overall whole, you're still gonna allow it, but it won't be captured anywhere. In fact, there were compromises that we're not big.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things such as the sidewalks or that type of, that's because of
I understand
angles
all
and
the
degrees were
reasons.
state
There are reasons for
mandated.
everything.
Right, but as far as things that would probably be under our control as a community, you know, as I mentioned my narrative, you know, not all of us agree with every aspect of this thing, but
I agree.
given the whole thing, I mean, this is, overall, this is worth going forward for the town. So I
I'm
think,
not debating that, I'm just saying, how do we capture that lack of agreement on subsections?
we have to do it one section at a time. We can't, I think, we can't have,
Okay.
I mean, right now, we're on perpetuity, and I think if perhaps what I just said, we adjust that to the majority of the board, you know,
Okay.
I think.
just
Now,
was
regarding the
querying
other aspects of this, whether it was not having parking directly in front of Building H, or
Right,
things like that,
lots of things.
I think that's all a matter of public record, which, you know, we had during all the meetings. I don't know whether or not that needs to be indicated in the decision. I don't know.
Okay, well, it's
That's
all
just
new to me,
my-
Brian, that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, just my thoughts on that. I think anybody else feel there's any aspects of this project or the decision that needs to be highlighted in the findings of facts?
No.
Okay.
We just brought, I mean, are the minutes of our meetings part of the findings of facts?
Ooh, good question.
Not on
Because
the,
that would sort of address, you know, what you're talking about.
They're not necessarily a part of the record, but they are on record.
Right.
But they're not, I mean, if there was if there was an eventual appeal, no, because it's not a cert appeal, so,
Yeah.
I mean, they really wouldn't be technically part of the record. We could put them in, do you want me to?
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, to the point that
but none of,
that is where we've discussed concerns and compromises and, you know, the evolution of the discussion
Well, the
is
video
contained
records.
within there. yeah.
but Amy, not all the minutes have been approved, and then there's this meeting's minutes. that-
Yeah, she's right.
Understood.
Good comment, Rachel.
There's a video record, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I feel that, you know, like our earlier discussion about water, I think there's a lot of things, like, I would love to have the town have stricter water regulations, but I don't think it's in the purview of this
Mm-hmm.
decision to enforce it on one new resident when it's not applied to everybody else, you know?
So-
So it's like, you know,
So, how about on page 6, because I added page numbers to mine. Page
Wow.
6.
Oh, thank you.
Number 6.
Oh, we the lucky one.
I know. I have the control. Page 6, number 6, it says the board finds the project as conditioned herein is consistent with local needs. Do you want, I could add a sentence before that that says, the board had specific concerns, was concerned with matters such as wastewater, water, traffic, parking, affordability. However, the board finds that the project as conditioned herein is consistent with
I would
local
like
needs.
something like that.
That sounds pretty good.
Perpetuity.
I haven't
That's it.
found
That's
page,
it. That's
I haven't
it.
found page 6 yet, but in general, that sounds good.
Wait a minute.
I actually think I did this the last time, too. I didn't number the pages for POV.
All right, well, so let's,
I like the concept.
Brian, when we get to a logical break point,
yeah, I think,
some of us would
I absolutely
appreciate.
agree. So, wait a minute.
Page numbers.
All right, so actually,
Just a break.
I've gone back and forth here. Now I gotta take, this one is, okay,
On Amy's number 17, if that's your question, where we are.
we're on 17, okay.
Amy's 17, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so, when we get done with this particular,
Finish housing.
finish housing, then we're gonna, actually, no, we can, I think we finish this page here. After 20, we're gonna take a break.
Ken, how about limited affordability? So I said the board has concerns with aspects of the project such as wastewater, traffic, parking, and limited affordability.
Fine.
Limited affordability. or
Long-term,
limited
limited term.
affordability?
Limited duration of affordability.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
All right. All right, let's, we're gonna call, it's 10:55, we're gonna call for a up on an 8-minute break.
All right.
Anybody- Oh, I know. All right, so, where do we,
Page 9, number 18.
on number 18, folks?
We're finishing
So-
17.
Oh, did 17 get done?
Yeah, so 17 is just, it's in red, because this is what we agreed on at the last
Yes.
meeting, and I just want to make sure that everybody's still okay with it.
Yes.
Okay, great, I will make it flat.
Which one was this?
17 was in red.
17, yeah.
18.
So 8 is, does 18 have, no, 18 does not change.
Okay.
No,
19,
no,
20, I think we're all,
I mean, I think I had the same question on this, on Pine Oaks Village.
Which one now?
The applicant shall notify the board when the building permits are issued. I mean, we don't get notified when the board building permits are issued.
So we can have, we could have it that they notify the town planner, or, so the reason that's in there is so we can apply for the SHI units.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a
A
town
staff, so
employee.
Why
what
staff?
number are you on, I'm sorry?
He's on
Number
18.
18,
But now I
okay.
remember that, John. I think what we
Um,
said was the applicant should notify the board or its designee, and we
Yeah.
left it at
Yeah,
that.
'cause
Sure.
We only meet once
Or
a
its
month.
designee.
all right, so, or its designee, I think that's a good idea.
That's what we did with POV.
Good, John.
And Amy, that'll be true whenever that comes up.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
All right, 19. 20.
I had a comment on this.
20?
Yes, for 20. In Jacob's edits, he had some comments on this, but I can preface it, and if Jacob needs to add on, he
Sure.
can add on. From our purposes, for when we apply to EOHLC for funding, at closing, they have a form of documents called mass docs that are state documents that are standard for every affordable housing project. One of the documents that are in those standard set of documents is what is called a 40B rider, and it's for all kind of projects that have 40B comprehensive permits. And it basically puts a restriction that we record at closing for the 25% and 80% to be affordable in perpetuity. And this 40B rider survives foreclosure, and it's kind of remains on the kind of land records. And in our edits, that is what Jacob has proposed to replace the local springing regulatory agreement. I'll let Amy comment on that.
I don't agree at all. So if there's documents that are part of, that are required by EOHLC, that's great. So they will end up having a 40B rider, but this is, so if we go down to 20 in red, this is the local springing regulatory agreement that we discussed in POV4, which comes into effect if for some reason the subsidizing agency's affordability regulatory agreement, if that for some reason expires or is no longer in effect, you then have an extra layer of protection. We do this on all of our 40Bs, and there is as Paul reminded me, there's an HAC case that states that we are allowed to do this. It's for protection of the town. So if there's any kind of documents that are required by EOHLC at closing, there's no way we could list those all and require those, because we're not requiring those. EOHLC is requiring those. But this springing, the springing regulatory agreement, it's protection for the town.
And Amy, I'm just going to suggest, if I could, I agree with you on a little different terms, only because we're not a party to the agreements between you and that firm. So I would suggest this makes sense
Correct.
to keep it.
And
I
just
think- Go ahead.
Just so I understand, the current version that we're looking at, you're crossing out the words local springing regulatory agreement.
No,
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 we're
no,
not
no.
leaving that in.
Do that in.
Stop looking at that one.
Stop looking at
Yeah,
that.
put that aside.
Thank you, that's why I asked.
Can I ask, I think there's an important clarifying question. Is the local springing regulatory agreement intended to only apply to the 25% at 80%?
I think so, yeah. I don't think we could, we wouldn't have the ability to make it apply to the lower. Anything, we wouldn't have the ability to make it apply to anything but 15 units.
Okay, in that case, I don't oppose the concept. I don't think it's necessary because the 40B rider is not terminable, so there's no scenario that I see where that goes away. And so the spring regulatory agreement would never go into effect, but substantively, there's not really an issue. I think we all agree that there's perpetual restriction on those 25% of units, so it's not an issue.
Good, we leave it in.
So it's redundant, that's okay.
So,
But I think it is important that we revise this to make very clear that local springing regulatory agreement only applies to the 25% at 80%, because the funders are gonna care about this a great deal.
In addition, the applicant and the town shall execute a local springing regulatory agreement concerning at least, applicable to at least 15 units. Is that good for you, the board?
Is it good for the applicant?
Mr. Only.
Should we do the 25%?
Why? I can do 25% and 50, or 15 units, but why 25%? You're gonna do 60 units, correct?
I guess, yeah, sure.
And it should reference the 80% threshold as well.
one question I've got, just occurred to me, after, if we conclude and when we have a decision document, I'm assuming this document goes to the state, is that correct? Do they look at this, will the state at all look at this decision document?
Only if it's appealed.
Only if it's appealed, okay.
Although I will provide a copy of the decision once it's finalized to MHP, because they always request that from their consultants, so that they just keep track of it. But it's not any sort of official review, it's just for their records.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're on to 21. I think everyone's all set there. 22.
Here we go again.
That, we can just leave that. That's just confirming it, and it says right here, it says that the regulatory, shall remain affordable. It says, the last sentence, said agreement shall be consistent with the terms of this decision. So it's just clarifying, that it has to be done prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit. It takes into consideration the 15 units that we just clarified.
Yeah, I guess should we clarify that the affordable units is just 25%?
I mean, I think you can just add in the 15 affordable units.
Yeah, I already have that up above, and then it
Okay.
says, such agreement shall be consistent with the terms of this decision. So,
What is the reason for, as long as the project does not conform to the town zoning bylaw?
because the purpose of 40B is to allow them waivers.
That I understand, so that's the reason for it.
So
So-
there's actually case law on that. That was the Ardmore decision about 20 or 25 years ago, where there was a regulatory agreement that expired, and the project proponent wanted to take it out of the affordability requirements. And the Supreme Judicial Court reviewed it and said, the fact that the regulatory agreement expired doesn't mean that they can just make it a market rate development, as long as the project is not consistent with the local bylaws. The affordability requirements will remain in place unless the decision specifies a time less than in perpetuity.
Yeah.
So if the decision said, it'll be affordable for a period of 30 years, and that 30-year period expired, then it could become market rate unit. When it doesn't specify a length of affordability, then it's in perpetuity, or as long as it doesn't comply with the underlying zoning.
Thank you. All right, so for some bizarre reason, the town changed its bylaws, and now you could, by right, do 60 units on this hill. What does that mean to the document?
Means they have the rights to do whatever they want.
Then all of a sudden, affordability's out the window,
So
right?
there's a lot of waivers involved in this, so it's not just a density change, because there
Okay,
would
just-
still be
Yeah, let's not.
portions.
Yeah, I just
But
kind of
just-
wondering,
just
you know,
Thinking of, the MBTA communities law that was recently passed,
Sure.
right? And there's a lot of towns, including my town in Chelmsford, where I was town council, and before that was a member of the Board of Appeals. There were sections of the town that had already had developed 40B housing, and the town essentially looked at those areas and said, we're gonna make that the MBTA community zoning district. And so in that instance, they actually changed the zoning to allow the densities that had been previously built
right,
by right. So theoretically, those units could eventually come
Go
into
market.
compliance with zoning, except for, again, there's a lot of waivers that get
Sure.
issued. So it's not just density that you're looking at the totality
I
of the
understand.
waivers, and if you don't comply with anything, then you're still subject.
Okay, all right,
So is the town regulatory agreement separate from the local springing regulatory agreement?
No. Same. I can change that. if
Okay,
you
and
want.
we're gonna make clear
Do you
that that only
do you want
applies to
that
the 25.
in, do you want that named
Yes.
in the lower one?
Yeah, we,
22?
yeah, if we just name that and then
Instead of the
clarify that
town
it's-
regulatory agreement, we'll do the local springing.
regulatory agreement and same adding the 15 units.
Well, I don't think we need to do that. So local springing regulatory agreement, and then I'm gonna delete town. At the bottom. I could also, in the final version, I can't do it now because all the numbers will get mixed up. I can either put 22 above 20 or put 22 with 20. That makes it easier for the board, but
your
Okay.
call.
all right, we can move on.
23,
No issue to local preference applicant?
No issue.
All right. Thank you.
all right, we're on 24.
Sorry, back to, is the building commissioner the proper person that goes to in town?
I'm sorry, John, say that again, please.
What number are you on?
That report about
24.
the initial marketing activity? I'm just curiosity, is the building commissioner know what to do
What
with it?
number are you on?
Rachel? Back on 23. Within 6 months of the issuance of the final certificate of occupancy, the applicant shall submit to the building commissioner a marketing activity.
If it's a document that has to be submitted before an occupancy permit is issued, the building commissioner is the one who issues the occupancy permit, so they will need all of the required documents.
This is 6 months after.
So you wanna change that to the board or its designee?
Okay, that would make sense.
I just have a question, it's like, when we're getting all these approvals, who are we actually submitting it
Well, that's
to?
what, I want to be clear, it's like, I
David.
don't know what the building commissioner is going to do with the marketing report, right?
Right.
You know,
I would
Good
say
luck
if it's
with
re-
that.
If the document is required to be submitted
So-
before the approval of the CO, it can go to the building commissioner, and then
if it's
anything
isn't
after,
it, don't we have a housing?
I guess that's up to
Person?
me. Well,
You don't
Who
have-
does
well,
the,
we
who does the
actually-
shy list for town?
It was the housing advocate, but that position is vacant at
Yeah.
the moment.
I would say back to the board or its designee.
That's what I,
Yeah, board or its designee, good call.
it's either the housing coordinator or the planner. That's who
All right, I don't wanna throw
usually-
more on your plate, Christine.
Yep, that's fine.
I just don't think it's something the building commissioner cares about after 6 months later.
Can we move on?
Yes, please.
Okay, we're on 24. Okay, 25.
I had a question there. Is subletting not allowed?
Not
And
allowed.
Where is that? Is that in the rental agreement? Where is it? There a
That'll be in our
restriction against-
lease.
Excuse me?
That'll be in our lease,
Okay, so that's not allowed and it'll be in the lease.
yeah.
Yep.
I thought this is right in this paragraph 25. Ken,
What's that?
Isn't that what that says?
Short-term rental. I think
No,
this
that's
more
trying to
applies
get,
to
that's
them.
trying to prevent, short-term rentals.
On their part, it's not subleasing rental.
I don't think the board has the ability to regulate, subleasing.
Well, there's only a question. No,
Yeah,
it's not a-
I
not a
think that
condition.
has to stay in their purview. I don't know.
Okay,
They don't.
Yeah.
I was involved in a matter in Falmouth where the board imposed that as a condition, and it was stricken by the
In a
EGC.
40B?
In a 40B, yes. That was a circumstance where a developer came in looking to do a hotel, and the Cape Cod Commission denied it, so they came in with a 40B that was basically a hotel.
So much for good neighbors.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
This whole section on plans is really standard. I'm not sure if you guys need to go through, through those 4 conditions, word for word. Did you have any changes to them, Marion?
No.
So, yeah, I don't,
Perfect.
just to move things along,
Fine.
those are.
All right, so we're on construction.
And again, these are all pretty,
Ended.
pretty standard.
I see we have some comments on number 33.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was gonna be phasing,
There's no phasing.
so I think, I tried to highlight all of the phasing language in here, but I might have missed some, so I might have to go back and search and get rid of it all.
32 has phasing in it as well.
Okay, so, a copy of estimated construction schedule. So I'm gonna delete, with expected completion dates for each phase.
So there are no phases, however, are you not issuing the first lease until all 14 buildings are ready?
I think that will depend on whether the building commissioner will allow us to do that, and whether we're able to achieve safe egress in and out before all of the buildings are complete. Oftentimes, the paving is the last piece, so it's unlikely that it may be deferred by a couple of weeks, but would that?
I mean, I'm
would-
assuming that, and I'm not trying to lengthen the discussion here, that, the paving can be all done, the exterior construction can all be done, but there's still a lot of work to do on interior fit and finish, painting, plumbing, et cetera, that could be done on a building-to-building basis. So I could see that, several of these buildings getting, I think, up and running.
you wouldn't
over-
call that phasing, Brian. That's
I-
just
well-
sequencing.
So that would bring us to 32, which, the purpose of 32 was if they were going to receive separate building permits for each building,
Right.
how they were going to do that, but I do have phasing in there, which is probably the wrong word.
Yeah.
So, we could just do a sequence, in 32, I can delete phasing and do a sequence timeline prior to receiving any building permit. And then we can just say applicant shall submit plans,
I think we're getting
Shall
into a bit
submit-
of micromanagement here, frankly. If they have to tell you in advance which building's gonna be sequenced in which order, that's not realistic.
it's not, that's what the building commissioner would, we wouldn't be the one, it wouldn't be the board, it
They're
would
gonna
be.
prepare a construction schedule, I can guarantee.
Exactly, and you already said that.
Yeah, so I.
Do you want me to delete 32?
I would use the term construction schedule. They're gonna put a CPM schedule together, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
That's required in here already.
Applicant to provide a construction schedule
That's 33.
Yep.
on 32. So the applicant is to provide a construction schedule prior to receiving any
Thank you.
building
Good.
permits for the project. How's that be?
Applicant?
That works. We'll be doing a construction schedule.
Yeah, it says that in there multiple places, so it's good to fix 32 as well.
So do you want me to put
We
that
already have a draft one.
should I put the construction schedule shall incorporate erosion and sediment controls, interim drainage measures, utility sequencing, and emergency access provisions?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think you can just take out the words phasings plans and put in construction schedule.
And it's planned to the building commissioner or to the board?
Building
Building
commissioner.
commissioner.
Right, not to the board. Thank you.
How about board or its designee, or we're
Like
doing?
No, to the building commissioner.
That's our designee.
Okay.
And I have a note to go through and change all board to board or designee.
But is there any reason that it says board of designee as opposed to just building commissioner?
Well, we're not exactly sure on every single thing.
No, I meant on this particular one.
Yeah.
I think she's
Oh,
gonna
just
go through and make
allows
a massive
flexibility.
change to the
So-
document.
It's just easier to leave it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Judy Barrett in her decisions, she always says it has to be the board or designee, because if you say building commissioner, some towns only have building inspectors. So
Oh.
you really get down into the weeds if you do that.
Okay,
I don't think it's a big deal, but.
all right.
All right, in blue down there, says building commissioner shall determine if a pre-construction conference is required.
That comes out.
You can take that out,
Where's that, what number?
33,
On 33.
It comes out for the-
because there is no
Why do
phasing.
I have blue?
Well, I mean, I still,
It's your highlight.
I know.
Oh,
Actually, I think they're broken to.
No, this isn't me. No, it is me, AK. Is there another AK? No. Oh, I deleted Willoughby phasing, but I don't have that.
Hmm.
Building commissioner, okay,
Maybe already deleted.
okay. All right.
so, I mean, does that get deleted, or we just get rid of, just is required, period?
I just deleted it, so,
Okay, all right.
and then it says a copy of the final plans and estimated construction schedule shall be provided.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
34.
Under C, there's just a typo, board.
C.
Submitted to the board versus you just add an R.
Yep.
I apologize, I'm sorry, what's being changed?
Just, there's just.
Under C,
Fourth word, Brian.
Yeah.
typo,
Fourth word.
board.
Oh,
Board.
okay, all right.
So above that is the yellow, I get, this is probably for Rachel and Christine, who issues a water connection permit? Do you guys know? Is it the,
The water department.
just, there is a water department, so I'll say Harwich Water Department. Okay.
I guess D is the next topic.
I think so, yes. Are on D now?
My understanding in Harwich is that the select board does the stormwater permits. I don't think it's the Conservation Commission here. There's no conservation jurisdiction.
Correct.
Go ahead, Christine.
That's correct. It's the select board that issues the stormwater and illicit discharge permit.
Really?
So Amy, how do we modify that?
I think we just leave it as the board's designee, because,
Striking out Conservation Commission?
yeah, but with all due respect to the select board, I'm not sure that they're going to want the SWIP. I mean, it's like this big,
Okay.
yeah. All of
Same.
this was from POV 4, which the Concom had jurisdiction and had big concerns about stormwater.
Yeah.
So that's three, flat one, yeah.
So,
So then on E, we would
yeah,
strike,
it
strike
designate.
that.
I have a whole bunch of places in here that have Concom that I'll
Yes.
take out.
And they'll come out.
Yeah, I think I got most of them, probably not all of them, but I can do that.
Okay. F?
Okay.
So that's fine.
I'll set on F.
Applicant?
Okay.
That's a requirement
It's a
for us to apply for
requirement.
funding
Yeah.
anyways.
35.
the Conservation Commission. again,
Everything else okay?
Everything else is fine.
Oh, could we, back up to F? Do we know if there's any archaeological sensitive areas?
We're unaware, we don't think so.
So, okay. So we probably should take this out, because if there are any, they will have to do it through their they have to apply for MIPA, they have to do MIPA, so if there are any, MHC will comment on it, and then they have to deal with it then.
Okay.
So if they don't know of any right now, this isn't necessary.
Really? That's fine.
How will they know until they start?
They have to go through MIPA, and so to get a MIPA certificate, their MIPA application gets forwarded to bunches and bunches of state agencies, and one of them is the Massachusetts
Oh,
Historical Commission.
Okay, that answers my question, thank you.
Mhm.
So that's taking out F?
I would, if you guys are in agreement.
Yep. Actually, I mean, just, again, not to delay things, but I know when we had land that was being reviewed for the sewer system, a company had to go out to borings. What they found was borings, and if they found something, then it had to go through a study. I don't know if that's, on this kind of scenario, if that's done as well. But they were required to do a boring test.
Yeah, we've had sites where, because of historical record search, there was potential likelihood of archaeological artifacts. We had to basically almost test the entire site to make sure that we
Okay,
wouldn't
so
find
th-
anything. So it, as a part of our closing process with our lenders, with the state, we'll have to make sure that we do,
Okay.
yeah.
So no borings need to be done to make sure we don't find a part to an old Etzel someplace on the property.
I mean,
Just a question for my own information.
Let's go.
Under general regulation, if you came across something in your diggings, are there laws in place that force you to stop and pull in the right experts and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so we eliminated F, is that correct?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
We agreed on 35, striking the Conservation Commission.
Yep. Okay, 36, I see the applicant had a request.
Actually, when I went back and looked at Andrew's notes from the last hearing where he attended, there was a note that the earthworks condition was eliminated, and I think this would be the earthworks condition. Just want to double check that with everyone.
I remember the discussion, basically,
Thought you guys wanted that.
the conclusion was that you were net bringing in soil, not in net, I mean, not taking it all out. But I don't remember whether the condition was, the overall need to a submittal was still there or not.
This was from your consultant, this is from your peer reviewer, and I agree. I think that they said they weren't bringing stuff in, but they were taking stuff out. Or was it the opposite?
It was
No.
I know, it was the
Opposite. So they're bringing stuff in, which is
Stuff
why you
Yeah.
want to know about the
The quality, you know.
truck trips and the quantities.
Amy, in 36, it needs to say the board or its designee as well.
Yep.
and did we want to add a word?
So if we are keeping it, then instead of on the fourth line where it says materials exceed, something to the effect of materials significantly exceed, just so it's not like a tiny amount that would trigger.
I
Materially?
mean, it's still the question is, do we need this paragraph in here, period? And the consultant had it in, but does the board really care?
Amy, what do you recommend?
Well, the only thing I cared about was the fact that the materials coming in,
Yeah.
that's pre-checked.
I think,
Yes.
well,
That's later on,
Yeah.
40.
if I remember right, the numbers that were produced were about 500 truckloads if you're using 30-yard trucks.
Yep.
so I think the town wants to be aware of 500
Yeah,
trucks.
I thought it
rolling
was the
through.
truck routes.
I thought that would be part of the construction management plan, right? The CMP.
At some point, you wanna know
So it's here too.
how many trucks can be coming in and out of that intersection.
Okay.
What?
We'll be able to recommend an alternate time. I mean, if it's the middle of the day on the day that the town's having a parade or
Well, the
event,
board,
it'd be
but,
like, hey guys,
but
not today.
our board doesn't care.
No, again, I don't think it's for us, but I think, or designee, right? Somebody in the town would wanna know.
I agree with John.
Okay, I would leave it in.
Okay,
I think it sticks in. I'm okay with the adding the word significantly.
On 37,
I think it was around 15,000 yards.
It was.
Being imported, if I remember right.
Okay, on to
Ten
37.
On 37, I added Saturdays between the hours of 9 and 5, and I needed you guys to make sure you're okay with that.
Yes, I am. John? Fine.
Yep.
37. Yes.
All right, wait a minute.
She just added Saturday hours, Brian.
Yeah,
It was in there, yeah,
I added it, yeah.
yeah.
I don't, the last one,
Didn't get highlighted, though.
I know, forgot. But I didn't remember, yeah.
I mean, for sure, they will be working Saturdays.
I would think.
okay, so I think 37's fine,
Yeah.
correct?
And then 40 and 41 are red because they're from the peer review reports.
All right, so we're all set with 38?
So you're gonna sweep, Queen Anne Road every day?
Swept as needed, at a minimum
At
daily.
a minimum daily?
Yeah, right in the front. No?
What number are you talking about, Ken?
On 38?
Oh,
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Standard.
Adjacent streets shall be swept as needed at a minimum daily. You might wanna say if needed, right?
If needed, yeah.
If needed.
That's just for, in fairness.
Yeah.
Well, it does say that. It shall be swept as needed.
But then it says that.
At a minimum.
At a minimum.
Daily.
Yeah, and this goes to adjacent streets, so that could
Yeah.
explode.
Well, maybe as needed is already.
As
As
needed.
needed.
As opposed to at a minimum daily. So we're striking at a minimum daily
Yep.
as needed.
Good catch.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, Amy, you were on to 40 and 41?
Just telling you they're red because they're from your peer review consultant.
And we had a small comment on 41, instead of, at the end of the line, instead of infiltration area, infiltration system. That tracks the language in the plans.
You guys good with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't believe it matters.
2, 3, 4.
So 42's fine?
Yep.
43? '44.
That's just the consultant, the peer review fund.
Yep.
Yep.
40, just back on 43, I know we had this because of Pine Oak Village. Do you guys anticipate dewatering? Groundwater is pretty deep there.
That's pretty standard on all these decisions, yeah.
I know it was important.
It
for-
wasn't just POV4.
No questions,
Why
Brian.
don't I just say any construction dewatering on 43? Is that good, John?
Whatever.
During any?
If they have
It's
to be.
fine.
Okay. Okay.
It's kind of the same thing, all groundwater pumps
Yeah.
during construction, yeah.
45, Brian?
Yeah, let's just going back to 43. Okay. All right, so 44 is fine, correct? 45.
Fine.
I think that's good. 46? Yep. 47? Okay. 48.
I think you could take out the word sequencing. And just leave a detailed construction plan.
Where are you?
48,
Okay.
Fourth sentence, first the word.
Okay, got
It's
it.
another, is it the select board or the conservation commission?
We're just taking out Conservation
We're just
Commission.
taking it out.
That's what we
Doing-
decided on for SWIP.
Are we doing the board's designees here? Okay.
yeah.
So it shall provide the board's designee, comma, the building commissioner. So both of them are getting,
Yeah, you don't need the building commissioner, just the board designee.
so we don't need the building commissioner either, right?
Right. You put and,
Okay.
that's something you need.
So it's just to the board's designee, a detailed construction sequencing plan.
No,
Okay,
take out the word
so,
Secrecy,
so,
yeah.
no, because the board's designee might be the town planner. So,
We can
I don't
designate,
think
we
there's
have more
any
than one
harm,
designee,
there's,
can't we?
and I don't think there's any harm in leaving the building commissioner in here, because it's a
Okay.
construction management plan, so.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Judy would say no.
I don't always agree with her.
She's not here. Fine.
Okay.
Applicant, do you have any concerns with 49, 50, or 51?
No.
No.
I'm just gonna take a quick look at it, because actually at this point, I hadn't got to the document yet. Okay. We're on to 52. That's fine. 53.
Maybe 52, the border is designee, is that,
I have a note to change it everywhere,
okay, thank you.
Yep. definitely.
No
53.
issues.
54.
So I just have a question. Brian, you had referred to this earlier, so there's a 7-foot limit you mentioned about a do not disturb?
On the, I forget what side it's called, but
East.
east side, along that property, there's a 7, 8 foot line as far as do not disturb. They have tall trees and so forth in that area. And I don't, it's the LO, on the site plans it's shown as LOD, you know, line of disturbance. I don't recall if that goes all the way around the property.
It does.
It does, okay.
The drawing has
Yeah,
it.
it's all the way around the property, so there's an area that they can't go past regarding disturbing the land. And because they had an abutter at the last meeting that was concerned about that tree line particularly. And also concerned about the sweat, you know, the water swale, how that was being
So
addressed.
do not disturb means you don't have heavy equipment on there either, is that correct?
The anticipation is that the contractor won't go past that line
There's no disturbance.
at all.
Okay.
There's no digging the land up, there's no cutting the trees down. None of that can happen
In
in
the
that
front,
7-foot area.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to clarify that because.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because the trench goes within 9 feet of the property line,
There's not a,
and you got a 7-foot, that's challenging from a construction perspective.
I think the clear idea here was that is not taking down of any trees, you know, in that area here. I'm sure that when they do the swale, there may be disturbance of the ground, which I think at that point has to be replicated back when they get done. So I think the LOD might be infiltrated regarding ground being disturbed, but then being put back in
Oh,
order.
it's just a,
So it's,
that neighbor, I mean, obviously you can't replicate a mature tree.
right, the idea is no trees are being cut down. Okay, that was a key thing there.
In my experience, the limited disturbance is a limited disturbance. You're not going
You
past
can't
that line.
touch it. Yeah.
You know, and it's supposed to be drawn so that, like, if you're building a, retaining wall or other structure.
You don't have to touch it.
For room for the equipment to get in, that's gonna have to do that.
Right.
You're really not supposed to go past that line, and that'll be defined in the SWIP as well. right?
So, in this case here is the plan that you showed and you presented to the butter, that can be accomplished without interfering with the LOD line.
Correct.
Okay, all right, good.
But it is very close to the east property line.
It is.
And there is some replanting after construction along the east side,
But not in the LOD.
not in the LOD, it's not supposed to be.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, 55. 55.
No issue.
56,
No. No issue.
57. Okay.
The applicant is okay with it?
57? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the building permit is gonna be issued. I think we're not issued, they're not being issued individually, but actually each building permit, okay, doesn't matter, okay. All right, 58,
I'm gonna pop up and give you Jeff Dirk's red line and blue line,
on 58,
on the next section.
okay.
Thank you. Is this superseding the last one you gave me on the previous?
This is just about the traffic, just about this section.
Wait a minute,
That's a
So-
ways out.
this starts at 70. we're
Starts
on
at
fif-
70.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump again, okay,
She's ahead of herself.
sorry.
So,
Back to
Getting
58.
excited.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
on 58, I need to know what you guys want to do about the parking spaces. So, Marion provided that there's 83 spaces, 9 by 20, 18,
9 by
sorry, 9 by
18.
18. So what do you want to do about the auxiliary parking? Do you want that in here?
Absolutely.
There is a provision mentioning the auxiliary parking, but you want that in 58, so it would be on-site parking consists of 83 spaces, and then that's on the project site, and then how many are on the auxiliary, or is that total?
20.
20.
I think
20
it's good to
additional.
call them out separately.
Okay, consists of 83 spaces on the project site.
Not,
On-site parking consists of 83, that's
Oh,
correct.
then just leave it,
right,
okay.
but 9 by 18.
9 by 18.
And then,
59 says it's 30 parking spaces.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
that,
59, we've got the wrong number again. It's 20, not 30.
yeah, I have that. No, it's, wait,
It says 30.
you guys are jumping ahead, hold on.
It's
So,
58.
on 58, on-site parking consists of 83 spaces, each consisting of 9 by 18.
Yes.
Additionally, auxiliary parking or no?
Well, isn't
to you
that
guys.
handled in the next one?
Auxiliary parking is 59.
Okay, I just didn't know if you wanted it in there.
No.
Okay.
Are all the parking spaces, the 83 exactly 9 by, I thought a couple around the,
Yeah, we have a van parking.
the van parking area and.
I'd say minimum of 9 by 18.
Yeah, I was gonna, good suggestion, Ken. I was gonna suggest we do a minimum of 9 by 18. Because I believe you have at least one handicap van parking space? Huh?
Yeah,
works.
minimum 9 by 18.
9 by 18. And then on 59, that should be 20, not 30, correct? On-
Correct.
And that could be measures a minimum of 9 by 20 feet.
Correct.
Yeah, that,
That's
Yep.
So we can add minimum there.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
These next ones are all either from your traffic consultant or from the last meeting that we went through.
Well, on 63,
Let's just take one at a time. 60, we all set there?
Yes.
yep,
61?
61, we have a comment, instead of roadway, could we insert driveway, just to be consistent, because there was
You don't want that.
issues with that.
Driveway.
Driveway.
Which number is that?
61.
61.
Driveway, yeah.
You get that?
Actually, I don't get it.
It's not a road.
61 side
It's
of the
not a road.
Roadway should be driveway.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So then,
Okay,
63, how are you guys gonna do that? Because the auxiliary parking is 9 by 20, you guys just said.
Yeah, they get two different sizes.
So they're two different sizes, so I'll have to,
Include a minimum of,
okay,
Forming a minimum 9 by 20 on the auxiliary.
okay, got it.
Never for trucks.
Well, it's about the vehicle size and not
Yeah.
the parking
Um,
stall size.
Right, but
Well, do we need that sentence, the first sentence in 63 at all?
I thought it was from that Mr. Chairman had a concern about large vehicles.
That's right, we were talking about trucks.
I think it's fine in there.
But they're not all gonna fit. I mean, we can't,
Shouldn't have brought it up.
I mean, they're
Yeah,
gonna
we-
be trucks with trailers that are gonna be sitting there temporarily.
Bottom line is, if it can't fit into a 9 by 20, the question is whether or not it's going to be allowed on the property.
Brian, there will be, every day, there's gonna be a maintenance
No, this
pickup
is,
truck with a trailer.
Yeah.
we're not-
I thought,
Can't
So I think
exclude 'em.
we've already covered this
well, I thought the second
previously, so I
sentence
think we can just
agreed on,
delete the first sentence,
that
I
we
think
would
so,
leave
too.
it to the property
because it's
manager.
just redundant. Probably confuse this thing a
I
little.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, delete the first sentence, is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's what we agreed on?
I think it makes things clearer.
Okay, I'm good to go with that.
Okay, we just had a question about the last sentence. The vehicles in excess of 10,000 gross vehicle weight, I think that's the abbreviation. There are some vehicles that approach that 10,000, an SUV that's electric. I've
Really?
heard, that's what I've heard from my consultants. And so I just don't know whether that's really, to me, this is a management issue versus, we're not gonna be weighing
I
vehicles.
would
It's not
agree with you, it's a
useful.
size issue versus a GVW. issue.
Right.
That's not true for an SUV, even electric, but anyway.
Everybody okay with that? Deleting the last sentence?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's only talking about unregistered vehicle, isn't it?
Unregistered vehicles is fine.
Or vehicle in excess, okay, my mistake. Yep, delete it.
Deleted at the unregistered vehicles, period, right?
I know, I
That's
just
fine.
looked that up too. No, there's none, there are none, but.
Allows you to have
No.
unregistered vehicle on the property.
Whoop, say that again, John?
Town bylaws allow you to have an unregistered vehicle on your property.
Gross vehicle weight is 9,100.
Again, that's a management.
Again, this is a management issue.
Yeah, we're gonna
You
leave
guys
it.
aren't gonna allow people to store vehicles in the parking lot, I'm assuming.
Right.
I'd eliminate the whole last sentence and look at it again. I think property manager's gonna manage this
I think the bit
parking.
about the boats, you know,
So that's still not 10.
but, yeah, I agree, first and last sentence, get rid of.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. What was the result? Sorry.
First and last sentence is deleted, everything else remains.
Got it.
So the only thing that remains is the parking of boats on the project site and auxiliary parking is expressly prohibited. That's it, right?
No, parking on the project site
Managed
shall be
by-
managed by the property site,
Yeah.
on-site property personnel.
Yep, yeah,
Oh, okay, all right,
Which is the
thank you.
key
Okay,
point.
all right,
Yep.
yep.
Okay,
Okay, 64,
no issue.
65,
okay.
66.
On 66, it's just a little confusing about, we agree that where we intend to have the bus stop, but we know that's conditional on, or it's dependent on the school district agreeing with the spot. And the spot where we'd like it to be is where the clubhouse is, so there would be a covered area for the students waiting for the bus. There's a concern, though, if the school district wants a separate place, would we have to build an enclosure for students somewhere else on the site? If that's what this is intending, then that's not what we're ready to agree to.
That is what this is intending.
I think the challenge is the school department probably won't make this determination until we're close to being
Done.
ready to occupy. But for us, we need to know what we're building when we're kind of starting to build everything, because then going back and retroactively doing it is gonna be challenging.
Well, why don't we say which could include a covered waiting area adjacent to the community building?
Well, so the reason why we have covered waiting area is because it's already, the building is already
Right.
provides that.
Right.
The covered waiting area that's intended is, it's just a wooden thing. It's
Well,
not something they have to actually, they probably don't even need a building permit for it.
Basically,
but
it's a shed.
If,
Why-
not
Shed roof.
even, but
Why
yeah,
do we
it just has a
require them
roof,
to do
yeah.
that?
But we can, it doesn't matter to you. It's in all of ours. We can take it out. I don't care. I mean, I don't think it's,
I mean, no other kid in town has a
Exactly.
covered shelter area.
I don't think we need to require the covered roof. It's nice to have if they've already got it as part of the community center, but
I would
to
agree.
separately
All right,
build
I'm
it.
okay.
okay. So I'll take out which shall include a covered waiting area.
Yes.
Applicant, we good to go in that? Okay.
Yep.
67.
It's kind of the same as 62, but
This is the compact cars.
That had to do with signage.
This is the chairman wanted, this is one of his conditions.
But that was the same thing as 62.
It's different, there's signage. He had them as two conditions. I'll put 'em in.
If the applicant's okay, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
We're fine.
Yeah, I see, we've done it, actually, I see what you're saying, it's almost like it's being done twice. Yeah, wait a minute, do we need
Are
both?
we not live streaming?
Yeah, live streaming is red.
Yeah, should we do?
This is live, this is,
We are live
I'm not
streaming.
sure the public tomorrow, yeah.
what do you mean? You can't?
I don't think the public's able to
well,
see it.
Mark, Paul, and
Yeah, they
Jacob all
talk.
logged into the public link.
I don't know what the question is.
Red is live streaming.
The red means we're
Okay.
live.
Very good.
Okay.
Moving along.
Okay,
Shoot myself.
all right.
We have to do this all over again. Mr. Chairman, let's delete 62, keep 67.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one of them has to go.
Got it.
Okay. 62 is gone. 68,
Delete. Change the number.
prior to the issuance of any occupancy permit, okay, that's right,
Sure, fine.
that's good. 69,
Sense.
okay. Actually, before I forget, Rachel, I guess because the handouts that Attorney Rose provided, we probably gotta put those in the, as final documents, load those up, okay?
Okay, what number?
70.
On 70.
Okay.
Applicant, do you have any comments you want to make on that?
We're now on her next,
Now in 70.
oh, okay, 71.
Okay, 71's fine, 72.
I think 71, we did have a slight edit.
Why? I mean, it's just,
I don't think we
It's
said.
fine, we can take that out.
That's so
That's
silly.
fine, that's fine,
Yep.
that's fine.
They don't need to be exclusive to that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what,
Yeah,
We're gonna
Keep
ignore
70,
their
yeah, keep
request to
71
that.
as it is.
Okay.
Well, there is no daycare center in 72, yeah,
yeah, that was from POV.
yeah.
72.
Yeah, so 72, eliminate the employees of the daycare center.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
all right, 73.
Amy, this is in red. Why is 73 in red?
It's in red because it is what we discussed at the last meeting from the traffic study. It's, a lot of this is from Jeff Dirk's report, and I think he's just saying it in a different way, so if we want to go with his, I'm fine.
Well, I
Sounds like he's
questioned
saying that
this
there's
one,
already a road safety
Yeah.
audit
and
done.
the applicant's got a lot of
From the,
edits in
I think
here
it's gonna
too.
be from POV. I don't know if it's done now, but it will already, should already be done, I
We're
guess.
talking on 73, right?
Right, we're on 73, Dave.
So, I haven't read through Attorney Rose's suggestions yet, but when you get down to, it's about the 6th or 7th line where it starts with, the applicant shall also design and implement the traffic signal and timing plan. I mean, there's no way the applicant
Correct.
can
That-
do that.
That's corrected, or we've tried to address that in the comments.
And I'll go even earlier in 73. There's already been a road safety audit done at that intersection.
So if you look at what she handed out, I'm okay with those changes, if we want to just adopt that.
Okay, let me see.
Changes in blue in the
Yeah,
documents.
and then we
with
can
the
just
title
move on
Jeff
to
Dirk.
74, yeah. Which I'm also okay with.
Okay.
The only thing that, I do think is a point of saying the applicant can't design and implement the traffic signal plan. They can participate in it.
All right, so the revised 73,
So if we can just go to what Marion handed out, 73 and 74, from what Marion handed out, and let me know if you have any changes to those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It still says the
Where-
applicant
where's
shall
your
also...
change?
It says the applicant shall also design and implement.
So where is that?
no, that's not on the revised one.
It is.
No, it is.
It's not crossed out. The
What,
language
is
is
it-
still there.
Is it 73 or
still there?
74?
73.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it's still in there.
So how would you like that changed, John?
I think they need to participate in the design and implementation of an optimal traffic.
Shall
but
also-
the town has to lead it.
They also need to participate because both
POV's gonna,
POV has obligations
Shall participate.
as well.
Shall participate.
So it's just gonna be, the applicant shall also participate in the design,
And implementation.
I'm just
Implementation.
gonna leave it the rest. I'm only adding participate in the,
Yep.
okay.
And implementation versus implement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I also have a
Thank
question
you.
I
on
don't have that, Ken, I'm sorry, where are you now, implementation?
design and implementation.
Okay,
Rather than implement.
okay.
But I also have a question here. I know we had a discussion on the intersection of the driveway to Queen Anne Road, where we're gonna have road markings that say, do not block this. I don't
Oh,
see
right.
anywhere where that's addressed.
Oh,
So
okay.
that needs to be addressed here. I think this might be the right place to address that as well.
Okay.
or isn't that under safety enhanced? Oh, you're right.
You know, that's specific to the intersection, Queen Anne and Pleasant Lake.
It just wasn't
Yeah.
something that was asked
Right.
in our
Again, they can participate, but the town's gonna have to go paint it.
Right, but they can also pay for it if they agree to do it at the last meeting. So how do we add some language there?
I think, to do the box in front of in front of the driveway, we're fine with kind of,
So, like, Penrose would agree to petition the town for permission to paint a do not block box, sign on Queen Anne, or on Queen
Queen
Anne
Anne
Road
Road.
in front of the site entrance.
Petition and
Do
pay for it.
periodic maintenance
Petition
to
and
make
pay
sure that's
for.
readable.
You can't go on forever, it's not perpetuity here.
Where are they?
You gotta make sure
They're
it's,
trying to add a paragraph.
Oh, got it.
Or a sentence within a
Well,
paragraph.
Chris made a good point. At some point, it needs to be redone. So,
But the town owns the road, that's kind of the point.
and why don't we add and maintain as required by the town?
So,
Paint can of white paint, get on with a brush and just do it every day.
Get run over one.
Been there, done that.
yeah, I'm hesitant to commit to kind of maintaining something that's on public
I agree.
right
Right.
away.
right.
Where are you going here with Amy? What do you
Well,
got?
we're asking you to do it initially.
Yeah, we can do it initially as a,
With
Well, they
permission
can
from the
pay for
town.
it, petition and pay for it, Chris. That, to me,
Yeah.
that means the town's going to do it. They're gonna petition the town to get it done, and they're willing to pay for it.
And then periodically
No,
inform the town when maintenance is needed.
Good luck.
I think that's overkill.
I think it
You
needs
can
to be
tell the
done.
town, you can tell the town it needs to be painted again. I can tell the town it needs to be painted again, right?
I think the people who are impacted should be telling the town.
I can tell you.
That's not Penrose, that's the taxpayers.
I think, no, it's the people who live in Penrose.
Yeah, it's-
That's
They'll
what
be
that
town
was about.
residents.
They're not living there.
The occupants of Penrose not living there?
No, they aren't. They're the
Doesn't matter,
applicant.
they're managing it.
Okay, so
That's, I'm
this
not
is
worried about. I'm worried
proposed
about
language
petitioning and paying
To respond to
for
your
it.
comment.
Are we adding a new paragraph, or is this?
I think the board is requesting to add a new paragraph.
Which we are,
Well, that's,
Confirmation
I
on
would
that. I
be
didn't know.
clear.
It sounded like it was
Let
adding
me be
on
clear,
to
I'm
something
not
else.
I'm not suggesting we add a new paragraph. Some of your $5,000, instead of just for traffic enhancement to Queen Anne and Pleasant Lake Avenue, can be used to petition and pay for the block painting, so you don't need to add a new paragraph.
Oh, so
Okay,
an
okay.
additional 5,000 for the design and construction of improvement strategies at the intersection, maybe that can be, which shall,
You can just
I think
add.
I think what Kevin's saying is that we address Queen Anne Road at Pleasant Lake, we address Pleasant Lake at Main Street, we don't address Queen Anne Road at the driveway.
Correct.
so after intersection.
Entrance to the driveway.
let's see.
and at the entrance of the
Yeah,
driveway.
and you don't wanna call it a road, so I don't wanna call
Yeah.
it an intersection,
Yeah,
an entrance to the driveway.
and driveway entrance, sure. Okay.
What is the language? Did you guys come to an agreement?
I believe so.
Okay, what is it?
Sure, okay.
After intersection, new sentence,
Instead of the
Just-
word
So continue
intersection.
on, and driveway
Continues.
entrance,
and driveway entrance.
period.
You guys good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I am,
Okay.
thank you.
75 was,
74?
74.
yeah, I'm okay with that. We're gonna add, we're adding Jeff's.
You're substituting your 74 for theirs?
I think that's a new paragraph.
No, it's
Inserting
a
the new paragraph.
You're adding a new, which is their new
We're
74.
voluntarily adding a new commitment that wasn't asked of us.
So if we go down to, or do you guys wanna talk about 74?
No, that's,
Okay.
new 74 is fine.
And then, this is from your peer review report that the applicant shall lay out and stripe designated pedestrian crossings within the project site. I didn't see any on the plans. Are there any? There are? Okay,
There
so
are.
we'll leave that.
Okay, we're on 75.
No, we think we just said she's gonna leave it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that stays, she just said.
Okay, all right.
We're
All right,
we're
so-
sticking with Amy's numbering from this point forward, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not counting his, but I am gonna add it.
Yep.
All right. Okay, we're on infrastructure and utility management.
I'm okay with it.
I don't have any issues with it.
No,
76 is okay to go. 77?
Is this a property management plan, like, how we're gonna collect rent, or, I guess, management plan just about maintenance?
Yeah, it does need to be a bit more specific.
Well, we're just wondering whether it actually needs to even be here, because this is management for the project that they're going to do, but it doesn't seem to be in the zone of the board.
Did we have one in POB 4, Amy?
think-
We did, and the reason why I left it in here is because of the concern about the oversized parking, things like that, but it's up to you guys.
I'm okay with eliminating 77.
D is from your consultant.
I think 77 was mainly because they were building their own wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what it was.
So do we care about delivery vehicle in the red, number D, 77D?
I think this is their management requirement. I don't think the board's gonna do anything with this.
I'm okay with that. I'm just getting clarification.
Thank you.
Everybody else?
Agree?
Delete 77.
Okay. All right, 78.
Fine.
I'm good with that. 79.
I think this is back to my earlier statement that I did a bad job on, but when sewer's available, they're not asking for a waiver or exception.
Correct.
80. Okay, I'm good to go.
Seemed pretty all-encompassing.
81.
There's just a typo instead of, in the second line, replace staging with storage.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. What number are you on, Mary?
81.
81.
No.
Oh, storage, okay.
I thought you, wait a minute, wait. Talk about staging of non-enclosed dumpsters?
In the event, in no event shall there be any storage of non-enclosed dumpsters or recycling
Okay,
bins.
staging, storage, okay,
Yeah.
get it.
82.
Fine.
83.
Fine. Outside of my perusal.
Okay. Now we're on to 84, stormwater management continued. Wait a minute. Okay. All right, so eliminating the conservation department on A.
Right.
Should that include the board's designee?
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just added it.
And I see, Amy, we have something in red on C. Applicant, you have no problem with that?
This came up at the last hearing about the NIFTY's permit. They have to get it,
Yeah.
Right,
so.
Okay,
fine.
all right,
I
so,
just have it in red because you guys discussed it at the last meeting.
okay, I'm just gonna whip D, 19, nothing wrong. E. F.
No.
Amy, you got highlighted in the 50-year storm event.
We can confirm it's,
I don't know the answer, and I couldn't go through the
no,
stormwater,
totally understand.
so.
Is
I
it?
went straight to Angela.
50 year?
It's in excess of 50 years,
Excess
but
of
so we
50
can say
years.
50 years is
So
fine.
designed for, at least.
At least,
At least.
so we're good to
Yeah,
go with
that's
that.
I'm
fine.
gonna leave it.
That's
Good.
fine.
All right, I think H is fine. I. J.
Fine.
Okay, so on to 85.
I think we can just leave that consistent with this decision.
Correct.
Right. '86, '87.
87, both fine, standard.
Okay, we're down to site improvements, prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy.
This was discussed at the last meeting, the snow.
Yep, good to
So
go
I
here.
pulled this from, some of it from your peer review and some of it from another decision. Just make sure you guys are good with it. It just basically says where the storage, the snow, and that it can't be stored, it can't obstruct any parking emergency, anything like that.
So who are they submitting this SMOP to?
It's gonna have to go to the board's, or the board's designee.
This seems like another management issue that Penrose has the interest and the desire to do this, but not
This
necessarily
is
report.
definitely there's some snow condition in every decision, because you can't block
Yes,
roadways.
I think the last sentence totally makes sense. It's kind of the,
You stole my fire. I was gonna suggest that 88 can consist of the last sentence, because anything else
Yeah,
is
okay.
micromanagement.
I agree.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Don't do that again.
All right, 89? I'm good to go there, okay.
I think it's just shown on the
It's
civil
the
plan.
civil plan rather than the landscape plan.
I couldn't find it, so it's on the civil plan.
Correct.
Okay, 91.
Yes, is that common?
Just one concern here, is that you got quite an angle coming out of that driveway to the road. You're gonna have to do something regarding some sort of material to keep the cars from slipping and so forth going down that
Road
street.
salt is currently and has been used.
So I don't know, I mean, wait a minute, do I wanna see you pouring a lot of salt all over the ground? No, however, I wanna think about safety here, guys.
That particular steepish incline coming down to a busy road.
Yeah, I can see people slipping and
This is 'cause
sliding.
of Pine Oaks Village, right, because we had the wetlands there.
I think so too.
I think
How
that's
does the applicant intend to handle it?
Well, it's also because of the concern with pond. You're in the
I
Six Ponds
understand
Right,
district.
but I'm
I
more
understand the
concerned, I'm more
compromise.
concerned than someone sliding across the intersection than I am about the fish.
I think
Okay.
where we are allowed to, we do use road salt to, because that's the most effective method to make sure that,
Every community uses road salt, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. It's what's been used, and they'll still find it. Just take a ride down in Robert Hour's property.
I think we need to delete 91, I really
Okay.
do.
Yeah, I wanna
agree.
get, 91 goes.
Yep.
Well, I'm very concerned about the environment, but I'm more concerned about safety of people driving their cars.
Particularly because it's a slopey drive.
Considering the amount of salt that's thrown on every street in the town.
Yeah.
It's pretty insignificant.
Penrose Manor.
Maybe we could have the driveway heated.
Yeah, I'll go along with that one.
Let's talk about a new condition here.
Yeah, 91's out.
92 there, that's right.
Oh.
All right, 92?
So from 92 to 96, those are, or 97, those are to address the issues that came up at the last meeting. The first one has to do with deliveries, and then 93 through 97 have to do with John's concerns about plantings and invasives and what to use. And I think I got it, but I don't know, so I need you to look at those.
Applicant, where are you on everything other than 92? 93 through 97, do you have any concerns?
93 to 97, we
No
didn't
concerns.
have any concerns.
So really, let's discuss 92.
So, wait a minute, you were discussing 92?
Right, but they have no issue with 93 through 97.
But I also need to make sure that
I want to come back
you
to
guys
97.
are okay with 93 through 97, because I think I captured what you guys were talking about, but I'm not certain.
Okay, let's handle 92.
Okay.
This was Brian.
Yeah, it was Brian.
92 was
Yeah.
Brian's.
It was it's his condition.
So it's not designee, it's just issued to Brian then?
I'll be up there weekly, taking care of it.
Is that micromanagement, Brian? What are we gonna do with 92?
I don't, okay. I don't think they need to submit.
Again, it is a management issue. I mean, they want to run a professional rental property.
And there
so
needs to be some flexibility, as
As things change.
I
everybody's,
think we have to delete this one.
I think it goes.
okay.
I just want, my main thing was here, I just want to know that you're going to developing a plan for this and not leave it haphazard when people show up with their trucks.
Understood.
Okay.
On
So-
97, well, anybody have any discussions on 93 through 96?
No, I'm all set.
On 97, they've got a green in the middle of it, so are we saying that they can't use irrigation on it?
No, it's limited in use.
It says it's limited in use to the plantings, to primary planting period, so after that,
Primarily.
are we gonna say they can't irrigate it? That's
No.
my question.
I read that a little differently, Dave. Use of sprinkler
Okay.
system in the property shall be limited in use, comma, probably, and scheduled primarily during the planting season. I think that would,
Well, it's still implying, Ken, that is used
I
for the
think
planting
their
period.
proposal was to basically limit the use of sprinklers.
So you're not gonna irrigate your green?
Typically, we don't do
Okay,
long-term irrigation systems.
okay. If you
Yeah.
typically
Cotton lawn.
don't, that's great. I was raising that question.
on number 96, if I could, it said you shall be used. Is that versus may be used? Are we telling them that they have to use them?
No, it should, actually, I think that should be shall not be used after initial planting, seeding, and turf. It shall continue to be used for replacements as required.
That's what I
So
thought our
really, the
discussion was.
fertilizer was just to establish the plants, right? I think that, again, was part of their proposal. So it should not be used after initial planting.
No, they're
Well,
saying,
why don't we say, and scheduled primarily with plantings, period. Scheduled primarily,
How would that read?
and scheduled primarily,
which one are we on?
Now, we're at
97.
96, Brian.
96.
96.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We beat 97 already.
97's done.
Excuse me, I apologize.
I think what they're trying to say, John, is that they can use whatever they want before, they can use whatever they want for the initial plantings. After initial plantings, they're proposing to use low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers.
I don't think so.
No, but day one is that.
Yeah, it's always gonna be low nitrogen, slow release, but my understanding, which is the same thing we had at Pine Oaks Village, is that you're only gonna use fertilizer when you're establishing the plantings.
So-
And after that, you're done.
You are correct, that Pine Oaks Village, we definitely said no more after the initial. Do you want to say that here?
Because the concern, again, the concerns with phosphorus and nitrogen and everything else that,
So-
we've discussed.
How does the applicant feel?
But you're allowed.
We are okay with whatever the board
Yeah.
would like to
So
put here.
we want deleted and shall continue to be used for replacements as
But
is
yeah, I think we just
required.
need the word not, right? Shall not be used after initial planting.
I think it should be, shall only be used
And should,
for initial planting, period.
if you want, yeah.
Or, but,
Well, if they have to
or for
replant
replacements.
something.
That's the whole point of the last clause of 96, is for replacements as is
I
required.
think 96 is fine.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
without
it's
the
not-
not, it's saying
but-
we can use it forever, right? Without the
Shall
word
be
not,
used after initial planting still says it can be continually used.
I think it says shall not. That's
Yeah,
what
it
John,
should-
John
yeah,
pointed that
shall
out
not.
first.
Yeah, we're missing the not.
Yeah.
Okay, shall not.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to do it that way, yeah.
Yes.
But is that then requiring low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate
the
fertilizers?
fertilizer that they use has to be.
It doesn't say,
The way it reads, I'm not sure it does require
Oh,
that.
I see your point.
I think his point is correct.
So I think you could change that to only low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers shall be used for initial planting, seeding and turf on the property.
Shall be used only during initial planting,
Yeah,
Shall
instead
be
of-
used,
only during the initial planting period.
it's sort of called replacements, right?
and/or for replacements as required.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for replacements as required. So let's read that one back. Only the use of low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers may be used only during initial planting, seeding, and turf on the property, comma, and for replacements as required. Is that what we're agreeing to?
Yes.
Mhm.
So, okay, good.
That's not what I have, hold on.
As long as it's close to that.
I know, that's why I'm gonna read it. Only low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers shall be used during the initial planting, seeding, and turf on the property, and for replacements as is required.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Shall be
no, I-
used only during the initial
So-
planting period.
Then, okay, so I'll take out the first only then. So we'll do low nitrogen. But I thought that.
Why can't
Oh,
we
you're
say,
suggesting only, the first
So,
only is important.
This, if I do it as you guys said, this is how it reads, which I think is awkward, but it's up to you. Only low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers shall only be used during
Shall be used only.
Can we
Shall
break
be-
these sentences up? And the first thing is just, the fertilizer may only be used, only this fertilizer is used, period.
Right.
Second period is, it may be used for initial plantings or replacements, and that's really what we're trying to say.
That's a good way to do it.
That'll
Dave.
work.
Two
That'll work.
separate sentences.
That's a good way to do it.
Wait.
The type of fertilizer and when it's
Okay,
used.
so,
Yep.
only, I'm gonna do, only low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers shall be used.
Shall be used on the property, period. They may only be used during initial plantings or replacements.
Yep.
Can I keep it one sentence and say, and they may only be used?
No. Oh, two sentences.
But then I have to say what it is if I
I
say,
know
I can't just
lawyers
say
like to bring
they.
everything into multiple
Okay.
things.
Well, you're not an
And
engineer.
then I have to say, and
Dave's going after her.
low nitrogen, slow release, low phosphate fertilizers may only be used, because I can't just say they in the second sentence, it doesn't make any
Okay, then.
sense.
Okay.
Okay. Copy.
Word it out.
Okay.
And I think on 93, I'm actually okay with the outdoor use of rodenticides.
Hey, they're fine not
I
using
know,
it.
but if you're okay with, well, not outdoors,
You do it in the living room?
outside, you can do it inside.
Yeah, we can do it.
Amy,
Yeah,
ready to go on?
what they need to do inside, I won't.
I can read 96 again if you want, or we can move
We think
on.
you and Dave got it down.
Okay,
We're on the
We're
98.
good to go.
okay, good to go. Yeah,
Can
we're
we
on
move
98.
please?
98.
And we can confirm
Oh,
they
yeah,
are
I
designed.
didn't, I couldn't see any on the plans. You know what I was thinking of is, sometime, so if you have sidewalks, you have interior sidewalks, so, like, it would be where the clubhouse,
Right,
because everywhere else there's a driveway, so they can.
Exactly.
So, okay, so, yeah, so, so,
So we're good.
should we just say ADA compliant wheelchair ramps will be provided in accordance with the ADA?
I just have one
Well, doesn't
question.
99 cover that?
Will they be using speed bumps to keep the
Ex-
traffic through?
Are there any speed, but there aren't?
Just skinny roads, right?
No, they're not any,
They have traffic calming measures, they shrunk the width of the road.
right, that's,
Doesn't slow a car down, I can tell you that much.
It might if you only have to turn the corner and, 20 feet later.
So, John, the, yeah, you want to just combine it with 99? All sidewalks and communal building
Spotlights,
entrances, something
yeah,
like
and
that?
Entrances and crossings or something?
Yeah, okay. All sidewalks and communal entrances,
Okay.
something like that. You know what, I'm gonna leave it, because their building the community center has to be ADA compliant, so.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll just take out 98.
Take out 98, you
Yeah.
said?
It's covered in 99.
Okay, general conditions. I'm good to go. Okay, so, all right, record a vote.
No, let's go to waivers.
I will though, but
Okay.
that next page is, I mean, the language-wise, there is fine, whatever. Okay, on to Exhibit A.
Are there any changes to this, Amy, from the last time we looked at, or there are?
There are not,
8 and 10 are both in red.
because we had to add remember, at the last meeting, we decided that there were two that we had to add, so I added them. So the red's really for Marion, not you guys, to make sure that it's
And
correct.
8 does cover the 500 cubic yards. You said 5,000? 500 cubic yards.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. All right.
That's what it's.
Got it.
We have no comments on the waivers.
Okay, so I'm all set right through 17. Anybody have any comments?
I agree.
Okay. Next table on building heights,
That's just part of the waiver.
right, just my question, Town of Harwich Board of Health Town of Harwich Board of Health sewage disposal regulations,
These
Okay,
are just a
Cape-
list of the same waivers that we had before.
Yes.
Cape Cod regulations,
Red ones I
all
added
set to
in
go.
our conversations.
All right, I think. We're actually done with this on the review? All right.
That was item 3 on the agenda, right?
Okay, so the next item is, somehow this, my tabletop here, I misplaced the agenda.
Here it is.
Okay. I have a few notes here. All right. Are there any final questions or discussion by the board or the applicant? Anything? Because once I do the next motion, you know, there's no more input.
No further comments.
Anyone? Paul, you all set to go? Amy?
Yep.
To go?
Rachel? Because you know, Rachel and Christine and you guys can still comment during deliberations.
But it shuts
So it's
off
up to
the
you.
public and it shuts off the applicant, right?
Correct. Okay. Can I hear a drum roll? Okay, no, so I have to make a motion to close a public hearing for case number 2026-01, Penrose LLC, agent applicant, Howard Affordable Housing Trust owner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Al. Any discussion? Okay, and this is, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That's approved, 6-0.
Look for your agenda again?
No, I'm all set. Okay. All right. Public hearing is closed. Board members, there'll be, I think the voting on this today would be myself, Al, Ken, John, and Chris. But for discussion purposes, Dave, you're still involved. Is there any further discussion we need to do regarding this decision? Comments?
My question is, do you need to get the clarified final version before you vote?
No.
Okay,
No, my motion is going to cover that.
okay.
Okay.
Well, I guess I am going to continue to suggest to you that I'm going to support the project, but there is a specific condition that I am not supporting. So I don't know how that's,
Okay.
I'm not going to vote against the project.
Okay, so I think I can just have, I'm gonna ask for,
We can do a separate vote on that one condition.
right, so why don't we first go on the condition regarding, I think, how in the decision we have addressed perpetuity, and would that cover it?
So under record of vote, I'm going to add a vote, which is going to say on June 25th, the board voted blank in favor and blank opposed on condition, or whatever the conditions are.
You need a
And then
specific,
it would
you have
be
to identify
Ken.
the conditions,
It would be
right?
Ken in the negative.
You have to identify the conditions?
Yep, so let's go do that, make sure you're good, Ken.
Can I make a comment before we do any voting, just on the general discussion? I know, like in the last meeting, Ken some of his opinions. And this actually doesn't apply so much to the project, but I wanted to kind of get it on the record, is that I think knowing that the town, and it's unfortunate that the Housing Trust is not represented here, owes it to the citizens of the town to be much more transparent on the balance of the work that's anticipated and go through a process with the public to help them understand, because I think that could have helped a lot in this case here, to make it a lot easier if there was more public involvement, and it does somewhat involve Penrose because they're gonna be adjacent to it. Secondly, again, I would recommend to the town that if we get another 40B, that they hold a public information session about the 40B process and about how it works and how it's supposed to go through, and people understand the limitations and everything. Because I also believe a great deal of the public comments that we get are because they do not understand the process of how a 40B works, and less specific to the project itself. And again, this sort of falls outside of the vote for this, but I think, you know, a lot of learning from the last two 40Bs. We're in an age where there's a lot of ways to communicate, and we're terrible at communicating. And the citizens of the town deserve a better communication on these types of things. That's my comment.
Okay. I had a.
If I could just, okay, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, but finish up on what John's comment was, and I'll move on to another one.
All right, so, I agree with a lot what John said here. Will comment the fact that the Affordable Trust, throughout their whole process, all had scheduled, and posted public meetings on every aspect of this, including their RFP process, the review of everything. There wasn't anything that everyone became interested after they went through the whole process.
I maybe
But-
misunderstood my
but-
comment.
But there's nothing more they could have done regarding trying to generate public interest, I think, in what they're gonna do with the project.
Well, no, I think they actually, for this 40B, there was information available. What I'm saying is that there's another parcel of land that they own, that they clearly intend to do something with, and to put this into the context of what the plans are, there's no information out there to say, are these gonna be private homes? Is there another development coming? Is it, you know, so, you know, I understand the concerns of the people around it.
Absolutely.
Even some of the comments about, you know, play space for kids and everything. I think, you know, it's just a big question mark of what's gonna happen to the rest.
They have a scheduled meeting in July, I forget which date it is in July, which they're going to start, on the agenda is the north parcel. And, matter of fact, I do know from, actually a letter that came in from, one of the, citizens, I think that was Tom Stapleton, I
Yeah.
think, that refers to, in fact, he was invited to that meeting to discuss his ideas regarding everything.
Because, I mean, again, for me personally, if I knew like another 100-unit place was going in there, it might have changed the judgment of some of this stuff, right? But what we were presented was just this, right?
You're right.
We have to decide on just this, so it was, the context is absent what they want to do on the rest of it.
Ideally, I wish that all acreage that the town has set aside for potentially development and affordable housing was already preordained or pre-discussed as what the total plans were. And I do agree with you. I think that made all this difficult, including, you know, the status of the lane, of the paper road. And by the way, just so maybe you folks the applicants not aware of this, the VHB and Jamie McGrail, the town administrator, did have and I don't know if, Kristen, you're part of it, they did meet with DOT, and they didn't say no regarding an egress on 124. So there was, I think they walked away from the meeting feeling that there's a potential here that egress from Bassett's Lane might be possible. What I did learn in discussions, and also in discussions with Christine, was that I initially thought the best opportunity that DOT was going to see for an egress on 124 was going to be on the northern edge of the property, and that pre-existing a curb cut there. Well, that curb cut's only 38 feet and some inches. And it requires substantially larger area for a proper curb cut, even with right in and right out. And so I believe that is not being considered at this time because it doesn't have enough area. Now, as a matter of fact, because I wanted, geez, I think 38 feet should be fine, I actually went on 132 at Cumberland Farms that has a right in and right out on 132. And that was about as small as you could do it. That was almost a good 50 feet in area. Because it's not the people going out, they can be standing still and then take a right-hand turn. But coming in, people are going to be doing 10, 15 miles per hour in their cars, and it requires more area. So that curb cut at the northern property can't be done. Okay?
My
Well,
only
it's
comment-
not being considered.
And my only comment to move this along a little bit is that's because we asked for the wrong thing. We should have had egress only, and it wouldn't have been 38 feet. But I don't want to get into it. This is
Right.
not relevant to this conversation.
If the town, if DOT doesn't approve 124 at Bassett's Lane, then then we could possibly punt and go for egress out only. Any comments on that, Christine?
No, your summary was fine.
Okay.
MassDOT and VHB will do a scope of work and for MassDOT's consideration and the town's consideration. And that will include the legal ownership and title as well.
Yeah, since the scope of work is being done strictly on it will be on the, who owns Bassett's Lane. Okay, that's being done first at this point. Then after that, they'll be instructed to do scope of work as far as, the lane itself, for engineering. Okay. Anything, yes, Chris?
Yeah, actually, I want to thank you for mentioning about 50% of what I was going to mention, which was the egress. Obviously, we've all had our issues in this about what we didn't think was right, whether it's in perpetuity or how they manage parking, whether there's enough parking, or whether it's dangerous or not with the amount of volume at Queen Anne, given the fact that the traffic backs up all the way a quarter mile back, even today. So the last meeting, I was not going to vote for this because it appeared to me that nothing was happening. And somehow we found parking in the northern lot, but we couldn't find an exit point on the northern road. So I was very happy to hear that they've actually been moving forward on that. Someone's trying to address the issue.
Yes.
And it's much more complex, and given the need for affordable housing in this town and on Cape Cod, it seems like they're moving and making progress on trying to do the right thing on this. So it definitely helped in relieving some of my concerns on the safety issue, at least how we're going to address it.
So anyways, for everyone involved and those interested in the public, I do recommend that you inquire or look online with the Affordable Trust as to when the next meeting is. I do believe it's going to begin discussions of ideas of how to address the northern land. And community activity is very important, and so get involved and go to those meetings and express your viewpoints.
So, I know we're not engaging with the community right now, we're just discussing amongst ourselves. So question, I was not involved in this process, prior to joining the board. And I understand, that the Affordable Housing Trust has been working on this thing for more than 2 decades. Was there a publicity that you can recall that went out on this whole thing, sort of so that really the public kind of knew how big this was without having to go to 20 years worth of Affordable Housing Trust meetings? Was there publicity that went out?
I'm not quite sure about the 20-year scenario, but I know
Well, this said it
for
started
the
in
last 5 years.
2002.
It's been
So
fairly
for
active
18
the last
months old.
5 years, and yeah, I believe that there was, No, do I think the public understood what was coming down the pike? Probably not, all right? But had those who are interested and had followed some of the meetings, they would have known. So I think now going forward, maybe there's more interest and more awareness of the status of affordable housing, as well as what the town may do with this property, and particularly that intersection, and also what's gonna be happening across the way at the other 29 acres of Marceline's properties. So I think the town is fairly well attuned to change, and what's coming down the tracks. So I think there may be more interest involved, and I think to John's point, even after everything we've gone through in the last 40B and this one, I'm always consistently surprised, particularly when I look at town websites, of the lack of understanding or the misinformation that still is out there, particularly, regarding even the last project. And sometimes people just don't listen.
Well, that's what I was thinking, again, and I do think, like, there was a public information, sorry to delay this for, like, there was just a public information meeting that was had about the construction work that's gonna go out on 28th, right? Which I think was very informative, it was good, all the businesses in town were invited. To me, if we had another 40B, and since we get a housing consultant in town, to me, part of their scope of work should be to conduct a public information session, not about the project, but about how the process works, right? And so that,
Should that be a requirement of this board to do that?
No.
I don't believe our board, if we have a project, our board could not upfront have a meeting to
right,
discuss.
because we're
Well, you-
deliberating.
but
What I'm
we-
saying
but-
is like a Paul or someone who conducts a session just on, to invite the public that says, hey, we're about to enter deliberations on a 40B. This is how it works. If anybody is interested, and help them better understand what can and cannot be approved, what the waivers are for. I think it would make the process be a lot less frustrating, particularly for abutters, right, that don't really understand, Again, it might not be allowed, but I think it would be, before we even hold one hearing, would be good to inform the public better.
That is allowed, and it is something that I do frequently through MHP.
Okay.
I seem to recall Judy did it before POE 4. She had a PowerPoint.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I think that's on the planning website. Sorry,
I think that's on the planning board's website.
thank you.
Just 2 demerit points.
Actually, I have information on
demerit
the
points for that.
Field website.
Okay, it's actually on the Board of Appeals website.
Yeah, everything's there. Question is, are people actually,
Yeah, they don't read it.
they're not reading it,
I have a
okay? So there's a ton of information. All the information about how 40B works is there. Our opening statements at POV, we discuss highlights of how it works. Again, it's a question of whether or not people want to hear it.
Well, it's gotta be specific. I mean, to be realistic, we had some great public comments on this. People put a lot of time and effort into it.
Absolutely.
And did a lot of work, but they were all neighbors. Right? I mean, you're not getting comments from the 99% of the rest of the town. You get great comments from the people who are in that vicinity, and they put a lot of effort into it, so I'm not belittling it all. But a general information thing that's not like an awareness for a particular project is probably not gonna get a lot of attention.
Well, the POV, we had townwide comments.
A lot of interest in the POV.
Yeah, POV held those meetings.
They did.
Yeah, so, and the folks that spoke at today's meeting during the public comment period, excellent work, good background information. I thought it was extremely pertinent, and I was glad to hear it. And I think it, going forward, I think the applicant was happy to hear some of the comments as well, and I think it has an impact. So, all that being said, any further comments?
Yes, so the record of vote, the first paragraph is going to say, on June 25th, 2026, the board voted blank in favor and blank opposed to approve condition 16, period. Ken Dixon voted in the negative with regard to the duration of the affordability of all of the affordable units.
Is it 16 and 17?
I had just 16, but let me go back. I didn't think 17 had anything to do with the perpetuity.
said additional restrictions of a term of at least 50 years. in
Okay, let's do
17,
16 and 17.
Please.
Okay, got it. Are you okay with the rest?
Yes.
Okay.
We vote.
Okay. Do I
So
take
you
that
just need a
motion?
motion on conditions 16 and 17.
I'd like to make a motion regarding conditions 16 and 17. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Okay. I need show of hands of the 5 voters on the board.
How about this discussion, please?
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay. So
I just want to reiterate my opposition to this. It's not in opposition to this development in any way, shape, or form. It is an opposition that I believe, I represent the community of Harwich, and I believe that Harwich is looking for permanent affordable housing. This does not represent that. And I'm disappointed. I'm going to support the project, but I am not going to vote in favor of these 2 motions. Conditions, excuse me.
And again, it's, I think for myself, on this stage, because of all the work that the Affordable Trust had done in preparation to bring this 40B project to the stage, I'm supporting the Howard Affordable Trust's work that they've done regarding this effort for affordable housing and the agreement that they made, with Penrose. Okay. Any further? All right. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Opposed.
The vote was 4-1. And showing that Chris seconded the motion originally. Okay. As chair, I'm now going forward to the, as chair, I'm offering a motion that the Howard Board of Appeals approves the written decision as revised for the comprehensive permit application, case number 2026-01, Penrose LLC, agent and applicant, Howard Affordable Trust, of the property owner of the property located at 456 Queen Anne Road. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Al. Any further discussion? No discussion? All those in favor? Raise a hand, please.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Show the vote in favor, 5, and opposed, 0. Okay.
No,
That
no,
being-
no. You have to do a vote to let you sign.
Okay, oh, I forgot about that.
That's okay. It would be a motion to allow the chair to sign the decision on behalf of the board.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay, I'd like to make that, okay, Al, make that motion, please.
Okay.
Say so moved.
So moved. So moved. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn this hearing.
Second.
It's now 12:56. 12:53. I'd like to have a vote to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned.